not be a good guy to offer a death notice to because, my God, the way he said it was brutal. But it is what it is. And Trump, this isn't the first time he broke the news that somebody had died, because normally there's a procedure to it or whatever. It doesn't normally come from the president, but somebody else passed away and he broke the news as well. I cannot think of the story it was, but it was another big story, and Trump was the first person to break the news that the person had died. But anyway, he did this in the press conference yesterday, and now we know, and we talked about this on our last live, that we were really hoping that during our next live, we didn't have to come and announce, because they were both listed as in critical condition last time we were live. We were hoping we didn't have to come back on and announce that one of them had died, but apparently we are. And New York Times had kind of started breaking the story by stating that the father of the guardswoman that had been shot, she was shot in the head. The father had already said, my daughter was wounded morally. This will not be a recovery. So he kind of broke the story, but then Trump came on air and said she's dead. I mean, Trump, and he just said it horrible. But anyway, Trump has taken some actions since that took place because of what happened with those two guardsmen being shot in D.C. President Trump has responded in a number of ways. Before we continue on, Nutsy Y2 says, why are you dressed like Suge Knight? I think Suge Knight prefers orange these days, Nutsy. So I don't think I'm dressed like the modern day version of Suge Knight, but that was funny. Happy Thanksgiving to you. So what I want to talk to you folks about is President Trump has responded to what happened in DC in a very strong manner. This is Trump.
Hey, Nick, good morning from Washington, D.C. This morning, some big changes could be coming to U.S. immigration policy and the fallout from this tragic shooting that happened just over my shoulder, blocks from the White House. President Donald Trump saying he wants to permanently pause all migration from third world countries and end all benefits for immigrants.
This heinous atrocity reminds us that we have no greater national security priority than ensuring that we have full control over the people that enter and remain in our country. For the most part, we don't want them.
Those comments from the president came after more details emerged about the suspect.
Now, this is a suspect. I'm going to halt this up, and I'll reverse this for what I wish I could mirror all of my streams, but TikTok allows it. YouTube does. That's why everything's backwards if you're watching on YouTube. They don't allow you to just mirror it. But I want to talk about, now this is a suspect you see on the screen, and he's already been captured. He was wounded by other defending National Guardsmen. So while he was trying to take him out, they responded back and shot him in kind, and he also is in the hospital. But he's an Afghan national. I think he's like 29 or something like that, been in the country since 2001. You hear President Trump's response. Now, even though this guy has been taken into custody, so this has kind of been wrapped up. As bad as it is, you got the scope of it already being thwarted. I mean, he wounded two people, taking out one at least, and he was captured. So it's not like there's some greater plot. They haven't announced that he's working with anyone else or anything of that nature. So that's it. That's it. But President Trump has responded, as you hear, by canceling immigration and benefits to all immigrants from third world countries. So clearly, there's going to be a lot of people that have nothing to do with what took place. Here are some of the countries: Angola, Antigua, and Barbuda, Benin. I don't even know how to pronounce all these places. I've never heard of some of these places. Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, Republic of Congo, Congo itself, Dominica, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, Malawi, Mali. I know I'm gonna butcher this one. Mauritania, something like that. St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Sao Tome and Principe, Vanuatu, and Zimbabwe. Now, none of these countries have anything to do with what happened. Nothing. And President Trump has banned immigration from all of those countries. In fact, it's 41 countries in total that he has imposed travel restrictions on, and he's banning entry completely for 11 countries. None of them have anything to do with this whatsoever. This is one radical guy, and we're going to punish 40 some odd countries for his actions. How does that work? So somebody let me know, do you think what Trump is doing does it make sense? Do you agree with it? I mean, punishing plenty of other people for something that they obviously have nothing, no responsibility for, but nevertheless, that is what President Trump has done. In addition to that, and he's also called up 500 more National Guards troops in D.C., and here's another one that is somewhat interesting. I want to hear from you folks on it because he's been holding this picture up. This is the picture. You can tell there's a lot of folks in this picture. This is on the inside of one of those cargo, military cargo jets, C5, C-117. I don't know what C letter it is. You can let me know. It's C5 Galaxy or whatever. You can tell me in the comments. C-130, whatever it is. It's one of those military transport cargo aircraft, and it's literally packed with Afghan refugees. Now, this happened under the Biden administration. Remember when 13 service personnel were slain when we were trying to leave Afghanistan? This happened obviously under the Biden administration, which you've heard Trump attacking Biden for that evacuation many times. You've heard that likely many times. But President Trump is claiming that everybody in this photo here, which was all ultimately brought to America. We had this refugee program where we brought a lot of Afghans back to America. He's saying that none of these people were vetted, therefore none of these people should be here. And it sounds as though, based on the wording of what he stated, he's going to work to get them all deported. So the Afghans are now going to be the next group that are going to be targeted for deportation. Now, here's the problem, though. How do you vet them? You think the Taliban would give you their criminal history? How do you vet these people? Some of these folks in this photo are children. You can clearly see some of these, there's women and children in here. How do you vet these folks? You know, any citizen, any refugee that flees a third world country or an oppressive country or trying to flee a dangerous dictator, how can you vet those people? Because dictatorships do not want you to leave. They're not going to let you leave. You usually have to leave in a defector type manner. So how do you get vetted from countries that don't want you to leave? I don't know how you do that, but Trump is saying that these people should be vetted. They're not going to tell you anything about that person. If you wanted to flee North Korea, you think Kim Jong-un is going to give you the criminal history of the person that's leaving? No, you're not going to get that. So I don't understand how that goes. But nevertheless, and I see in the comments, wow, Azarban says vet by skin tone. Is that how it's done? You can vet someone by their skin tone? Okay, that's different. That's different. We'll say that. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. We'll begin taking callers at that rate. But President Trump has responded in kind by banning immigration almost completely from third world countries. Well, it is completely. He said he's going to permanently ban immigration from third world countries. I believe the phrase he used in his message was, until we can get our immigration up to par, whatever the case may be. Well, obviously, if you're talking about millions of immigrants, that won't happen under Trump's watch. There's no way you're going to deport all of the folks that are here from third world countries and get the system up to what Trump refers to as, being on par in 3 years or in the rest of his term. So basically, for the rest of Trump's term, immigration from third world countries is essentially banned. It will be up to the next administration to undo this. So Trump is going to be banning all immigrants from third world countries, preventing several countries from even coming to visit, and deporting folks that are in this country already from third world countries. That's what's going to be likely going on for the rest of Trump's term. And my guess is if you're Afghani or if you're Somalian, if you're Haitian, and you live in America, you probably kind of felt this was coming based on Trump's path of who he's going after. You probably already kind of felt it was coming. You may have tried to stay off the radar or whatever the case may be. That's maybe that was the command you issued to your community. We got this guy in there. You guys need to stay off the radar. Don't draw any attention to us. Well, this Afghani has drawn attention to everybody that President Trump likely had a bullseye on already. So it is what it is. President Trump is now banning all third world immigrants. So I want to hear from you folks. Do you think this will make America safe again? Do you think this is the right course of action based on this gentleman's, this terrorist, I guess is going to be labeled as, his actions? Now, he drove all the way from the state of Washington, all the way from the West Coast to D.C. to do what he did. So I don't know how much detail we're going to get released on this. Right now, they've already told us he has a prior history of working with the CIA. I don't know if the CIA is going to be honest and tell you what he did for the CIA, but you don't drive from D.C. to Washington, D.C. to do what he did without there being some kind of reason. There's some gripe there. I don't know if you're going to get that from the Trump administration in its entirety, but we speculated on the last live that this individual, like many others, worked with American service personnel that worked with GIs, worked with soldiers when they were in Afghanistan, acting as translators, spies, snitches. They were doing all kinds of things on behalf of the American government against the Taliban and their own people, likely in hopes that America would either give them residency here or some other first world country, or restore democracy in their country. Now, Trump negotiated with the Taliban and gave Afghanistan back to the Taliban. So there is no chance of democracy in Afghanistan. And now this is what we speculated on, that there's a good chance that this individual, maybe his family, maybe somebody he knew, after working on behalf of the United States under Biden, received deportation orders under Trump, meaning that you worked on behalf of this country, putting your life in danger, and now they're going to send you back for the Taliban to essentially execute you for treason. So at that point, you got nothing to lose. Screw it. If the country I fought on behalf of is going to do me like this is speculation. We don't know, and my guess is they're not going to tell you if that is true. But if they start going gung-ho deporting Afghanis, they're absolutely going to deport people that worked on our behalf in Afghanistan. And when they get home, the Taliban is obviously going to put them on, I don't even want to say on trial. They'll probably just take them out. So we're going to talk about that as well. But do you believe Trump got it right, securing our border against all third world countries, even countries that had nothing to do with this? Last but not least, this is going to come from I don't know what the hell to call this file. I want you guys to hear this. I want to get your opinion on this because I don't know what to say about this. This is off topic, but this is a real story. This is a real news story. I want to hear your opinions on this because I don't know what to do with it.
And 8:37 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and we've been following breaking news all throughout the morning, but we do have another developing story that we're keeping an eye on. This coming in moments ago from our Fox 4 Dallas team. And I do want to remind you and say here, viewer discretion is advised as some of the details are disturbing. Now, we're hearing that 2 North Texas men have been indicted for an alleged scheme to sail to a foreign island, murder all the men there, and enslave the women and children. Again, this information here coming from court documents, as they say the men planned and trained for nearly a year. That's according to legal documents, in an attempt, they say, to fulfill their, quote, rape fantasies. Gavin Rivers Weissenberg, 21 years old, of Allen, seen there on the left-hand side of your screen, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20 years old, have been indicted by a grand jury on counts of conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country and production of child pornography. The charges were given for the pair's extensive plans to travel to an island, which is part of the Republic of Haiti, to attempt a coup there. That's again, according to the documents. Weisenberg and Thomas reportedly prepared from August 2024 to July 2025 to execute their plans, in which they allegedly intended to buy a boat, sail to that island, kill every man on the island, overtake it by force, and take the women and children as slaves. The island there does have a population, we're told, of about 87,000 people. From July 2024 to May 2025, the Sun is to prepare for the coup. On August 5th of 2024, Weisenberg enrolled, we're told, at the North Texas Fire Academy in Rockwall. This was allegedly an effort to gain training and useful skills for their plot. I mentioned it a few times, viewer discretion advised, and all of this information coming in from court documents that were obtained by Fox 4 Dallas. On January 7th,
there's more to this, and it just gets darker and darker. But these two gentlemen wanted to go to an island of Haiti, Jesus Christ, and they wanted to take out all of the men, wanted to assassinate every man on the island and enslave the women and children there. So this is a modern day version of some kind of crazy level of colonialization. I don't know what to do with this. What the fuck is this? Is what I'm going to be asking you folks when I talk to you, because I don't have any explanation for this. And I'm going to assume it is a one-off. We should have let them go, says Richard. I don't know. Well, if they had went, they would have obviously been killed. Two dudes are going to take on an island of 87,000 people. But I'll tell you this, though, when you really think about it, you know, when the whole Mayflower came to America, Christopher Columbus or whatever, it wasn't a bunch of them when you consider the feat that they accomplished. They ended up becoming in control of the Americas. Well, because what you do, these two gentlemen don't come on a slaughter mission. They come and portray themselves as friends, maybe bring food, maybe bring a little bit of wealth or whatever. And before you know it, you get the community to fight against each other. Some maybe work on your behalf, because there were Native Americans that were working on behalf of the English. You get some to work on your behalf to help reduce the numbers, and then eventually the plan is in place for all of them. So I don't want to say it's something that's impossible, because it's been historically done before. Maybe if they had a few more hundred dudes with them, you never know. Haiti is a desperate country right now. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, because there is a historical precedent for something similar to what they've done. But it's crazy that they were going to do this in 2025. I kind of wonder, when you think about the nature of Haiti, which established as a free island, of blacks that basically got out of slavery. I don't know what is the mindset of the Haitians toward the white man. I don't know. Anyway, continuing on with the program. Yes, you guys know how the program is ran. This is Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving Day politics. President Trump banning all immigrants from third world countries. What you think about that? We are MAGA friendly, always have been MAGA friendly, always will be a MAGA friendly program. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone, folks. So this is always uncensored. And if you enjoy uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle, feel free. We're here most weekdays. Follow the program if you happen to be watching on Facebook, TikTok, or if you're currently watching on Instagram. And if you're watching us right now on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're on all platforms live simultaneously. Richard, you said it would never have been doing all of us a favor to just let them go over there. I don't know, Richard. I do not know. You see what happened with Trump, where now he's punishing all third world nations because of what one Afghan did. Stick, the ruler. Good evening. I'm used to saying good evening, but good afternoon, Stick. So what do you think? You think that Trump is getting it right? Banning all third world countries because of what this guy from Afghanistan did?
Nah, he never gets it right. He's always wrong. You know that, Tim.
No, wait a minute. If Trump is always wrong, then why the hell do I have a hat that says Trump is always right?
Because that's what he wanted you to buy. He wanted you to buy that hat so he can get that that Skrilla. He don't care nothing about him being wrong. As long as you think it makes sense and you gonna buy it, he gonna sell it.
Well, he ain't always wrong. Come on, that's a bit harsh, is it not?
Man, he's always wrong. What happened with the Koreans? What happened with the Koreans building the factory?
I mean, sometimes things don't always go right, but he's not always wrong. That's pretty rough.
Oh, that's like saying pretty rough is how he handled COVID.
Well, he did say it would go away by April.
And did it?
No, a few months later, a few years later, maybe.
Okay, so when was he right? Like, I'm just naming little stuff just off the top of my head. When was he right? When was he right? The economy. Is the prices down?
Well, it's interesting you would say that because I do get viewers. I've had viewers that say in their areas the price of groceries did go down. I've had viewers that suggest, now Trump is saying 25%. That's a bit much, but I have had viewers say that the price of turkey and some of the trimmings that they purchased for Thanksgiving were down in price since Biden.
Okay, and those people, were they MAGA?
I didn't ask that. I did not ask that. I didn't ask that. That's my way out. I didn't ask.
Well, yeah, that's your way out, because they was definitely Trump supporters if they weren't MAGA.
No. What's wrong with an honest American going to the grocery store, looking at the price and saying, you know what, since President Trump has been in office, I'm paying a little bit less for groceries. Do they have to be MAGA to point out something that he does this right?
So I'm going to give you a little bit of Joe Biden. Since when has honest American went in the same goddamn sentence?
Wait. What are you saying? Trump is just inherently dishonest or something?
Americans too. You included. Because you're being dishonest right now, goddamn now.
How am I being dishonest? What if I said this dishonest?
Number one, what has he got wrong? Come on, Tim. I get it. See, most of the time, Gangsta Grandma and a couple other cats, they kind of be mad as hell, what the hell is wrong with you? I get it. You play devil's advocate.
No. Listen, Trump was right about the fact that Biden let too many people in the country unvetted. Is that not something that Trump was right about?
No. No. One minute it's 2 million, the next minute is 10 million, and the next minute is 17 million, 20 million. Yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't right about the exact number. I'm not arguing that, but there are too many of them that came in under Biden that we don't know who the hell they are. You don't agree with that?
No, I don't agree with it, because every time I turn around, anybody that gets accosted or something like that, it's always in the beginning they try to put it out. Oh, he came in up under Biden, but lo and behold, it always comes out in the end. Oh, it was a Trump person. Or came in up on the Trump presidency, the first Trump presidency. And then guess what happens? That story goes away. You don't talk about it. Other TikTok people don't talk about it. They just let it go on.
Wait. What? Give me that again. What story do I not talk about?
Stuff like when Trump says, oh, this happened and such did it, and then we come to find out, especially when it's stuff up under somebody else's presidency. He loves to say, oh, this was up under this president, Joe Biden. This was up under Obama. Then there's certain things that we come to find out, it was up under his presidency.
We do. When that happens, we actually do cover stories like that here. When he says things like that, like, on January 6th, the feds were instigating what happened on January 6th. We do cover the fact that was your FBI. If you're saying the FBI was in the crowd on January 6th instigating people, then the order had to come from your side. Biden wasn't president, so we do cover stuff like that.
What I mean by it is you guys have like very, very bad amnesia. Like y'all forget. Like I have to come up here and be Allen Iverson and remind you things that Trump have said or insinuated or really just blatantly just said on a hot mic or in front of a crowd or whatever. And it's like, okay, now that we done covered that, what's next hot? because he comes out and he's running a fucking soap opera every day. All he does is make headlines every day by either saying something stupid, doing something stupid, or fucking up something that was very, very important to the American people.
But how do you respond to folks who might suggest the reason it seems like Trump does all of this is because, unlike Biden, he doesn't hide from the media. He's on television every day. The more you say, the more likelihood you're going to say something somebody's going to hold you accountable for. Biden didn't do a fraction of the press conferences Trump does.
And just because he does a whole bunch of dumb shit and says a whole bunch of dumb shit doesn't mean he's a better speaker. It doesn't mean he's a better communicator. Because at the end of the day, what really the fuck do we know about Epstein and him? What really the fuck do we know about his involvement? What really fuck do we know about the strikes on the boats? I mean, what really do we know? We know they did it. We know that at the end of the day, they're going to probably give his ass immunity. But what really happened? Who were those people? Were they really drug dealers? Were they really those people that he portrayed them to be?
Well, let's be clear. What you are going to know under President Trump, the same way under Biden or Obama or Bush, you're going to know what they want you to know. I mean, if it turns out that the folks in those boats were drug dealers, they were trying to bring dangerous substances to America, it'll eventually come out. If not, that'll eventually come out too. But Trump is not the first administration to do things and the people are left in the dark. That's not something unique to Trump, is it not?
No, what I mean by, okay, so you got certain operations. Being in the military, I understand that certain operations, you just can't be out there willy-nilly like, I can just do this and I can just do that and I'm gonna tell everybody this and I'm gonna I get that part.
Okay.
But when you're doing things that are unlawful, which striking those boats without actually having confirmation and then just telling us about it, but not giving us any information on how you know. Like me personally, I can give Trump an out because remember, everybody forgets he let 17 cartel members inside the country. He had the FBI go escort them inside the country. For all we know, they told him.
Do you give him time? No, I mean, what happens if what he is doing right now, it's part of some sort of confidential plan so that they can't tell you everything they're doing right now because they have folks on the inside, maybe in Venezuela that'll work. Big Dog, appreciate that. Thank you, Big Dog, for the support. What happens if he tells you a few months down the line, like President Trump has already indicated that on the ground strikes in Venezuela, and his words are coming soon. Maybe after Maduro has been squelched or something like that, he comes out and tells you. Would that make you feel better then?
No, because I still want to know about what happened originally. But what he's talking about.
What do you mean originally? What do you mean by originally?
Because that might not come out. That might not happen. So again, we're still in the dark.
Okay, but he's we're currently in conflict with Venezuela. I get what you're saying, but like I said, this isn't the first time.
Why? Hold on, Tim. Why are we in conflict?
The claim is that they're sending dangerous substances to America.
Where's the proof of it? Because they don't produce the F drug. They don't produce that. So what are we talking about?
But that's what I'm saying. The proof may come after things have calmed down. Right now, the conflict is ongoing.
Okay, so tell me what's the remedy if it doesn't come? But I hear if it was a spliff, we'd all be hot. So I'm not gonna go with the if. I need to know, just like a judge needs to know, is he was on probation? Is he gonna piss dirty? Piss in his cup right now. And when we get the results back, I'll let you know whether I'm gonna let you go or not.
Well,
this is the type of guidance he needs because he's not actually fulfilling the at all.
Yeah, no, I get that, but what I'm saying though is Because what you want is information while the conflict is taking place. I'm asking you, let's say, for instance, once things have calmed down, they can show you definitive proof. Maybe some of the people that they've blown up, they show you still photos of the boat being loaded with some kind of narcotic. If they can show you that a few months down the line, would that make you feel better at all? C. Osby, thank you.
I mean, so much down the line. I mean, the incident is now. We need to know right now.
Why?
Everything.
Why do you need to know right now?
Because right now we can have some action happen.
Like
right
what?
Now.
Like what?
Maybe some more Republicans will retire, and we know that the Democrats are going to get in there and impeach his ass. We need more of them to say, you know what, I don't want to go to jail.
So you're not doing. You don't want this for accountability. You want information now for the possibility that it may harm the Trump administration. It sounds like you're just after the guy.
Not just the administration. I want the people who kowtow to him as like gangster grandma say. I want them to understand that just because you get his man semen every day don't mean that it's gonna be okay.
Just because you do what?
Get his man semen. You know what they doing every day. Hey, Tim.
Oh my God.
Do me a favor. I want you to pay attention to some shit now. We're asking them, and they're having conferences about the person that unalived one of the National Guardsmen, the West Virginia National Guard.
Yes.
Before they start talk, whoever it is, I don't care who it is in this administration, watch the first the first 2 to 3 minutes of their conference in the sense of each person that talks is all about how strong and nobody could do it and thank you for your leadership type shit that they spew before they even talk about giving you good information about the conflict. Fuck him and his ego. Fuck what he got going on. Fuck that he's immature / insecure because he got about 3 strands on his head. Fuck him. Tell me about my country. Tell me what the fuck is going on. Really, really, really. Like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of paying for a motherfucker to tell me how great a motherfucker is, and really he's peon.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you that anytime Trump is on television and there are people that speak out before he talks or address, it is a lot of ass kissing going on. We couldn't do this without you, sir. You're the greatest person. I don't know why all of that's happening other than, as you say, they're just there to semen drink or whatever you said, but it does look like a lot of ass kissing going on. I don't disagree with that, but I want to ask you something, Stick. Is there anything that Trump could do to make you feel more supportive of the president?
What he could do is fucking tell the truth. And what I mean by tell the truth, I mean, I need really to know that he's telling the truth. Like, not just he told the truth and then I got to go fact check it. No, he's telling me what I see and it's actual factual. Tell the truth. And,
what about this picture on the monitor behind me? That's a bunch of Afghanis in a military cargo plane coming to America. They have not been vetted. Trump held this picture up yesterday and stated stuff like this is why we have problems with like what happened in DC, and that is the fault of the Biden administration. Is that not the truth?
I would say no. I would say hell no. And the reason why is because, number one, he the one put that bullshit ass withdrawal out there. And that's number one. Number two,
he didn't put this out here, Stick. He didn't bring in 1,000 refugees with you. That wasn't part of his withdrawal. That's Biden.
Guess what? Biden didn't do that. Trump made it to where Biden had no choice but to help those people and put them in a spot where, okay, look, I'm gonna try to, band-aid this shit as best as possible, because that's the only thing you can do with any Trump policy or any Trump executive order, because that's mainly what it is.
So what if, let's say Trump, okay, because you're saying Trump left Biden no other choice but to bring these people here. Let me ask it to you this way. if President Trump had won a second term in 2020, meaning Biden would not have served, would this still have happened?
Yeah, it still would have happened.
You think under Trump's second term, a plane like this full of all them Afghani refugees would have still came to America?
Didn't he allow Venezuelans in? Didn't he allow a bunch of Venezuelans in?
Nah, did he? I'm not aware of that.
Didn't he allow some? It wasn't a lot, but it wasn't probably that many. But didn't he allow like up to like 50 something South Africans in here? And
yeah, that was at the behest of Elon Musk. That was a favor for, you know.
But it was up under his presidency. It wouldn't have happened if Trump wasn't president. It wouldn't have happened up under Biden. 1,500 people that had something to do with January 6th all got pardoned. And I've heard over at least 30 of them have committed crimes, are back in jail, or worse.
Those are Stig. Those were peaceful patriots on January 6th, though.
Well, some of them ain't here no more to be peaceful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, they peaceful as hell right now because they're not here.
So you think? So do you fault Trump for the pardonees from January 6th that went on to reoffend? Do you fault Trump for what happened to those new victims?
Yes, I do, and that's all up and down his tree.
Thank you, Giant.
If they talk about people in the sense of being illegal and all of this stuff, but like I was saying earlier, a lot of times when you go back and look when they actually came in the country, it's a good chunk of them came in up under his presidency. It's a good chunk of them that are getting CDLs, like everybody like to say. I don't know how you get a federal document, which a CDL is. I don't know how you get a federal document without having given some information about who you are, where you are.
What about the possibility that they're driving under somebody else's name and ID?
You got to prove that you're that person with the Fed. You get a real ID and all this stuff down here in Florida. So, I mean, you got to have some. For instance, we always talk about Chicago being flooded with immigrants. Well, we know, number one, that Mr. Hot Wheels Greg Abbott sent them, right? So why would you send undocumented people to a whole nother city and you're not going to be worried about where they're going, who they're seeing, or anything, but you're just going to ship them on a plane or put them on a bus and send them up there, and you ain't get no information?
Because that wasn't the goal. The goal was to make a political statement and flood Chicago. I got to move it on, but you are right. There was none of that. I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
And then the last thing with that, then turn around once Trump gets the president, send ICE exactly to those cities that you sent those people to.
Well, this
is the Trump administration that we've been dealing with. He sets you up for failure. So if he fails, in other words, he didn't get elected again. It was on Biden. He set Biden up to where if it's going to look bad because I made it look that way. And if I would have got back in, I would have fixed it. Well, he's back in and he ain't fixing a goddamn thing, MAGA. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. You're driving a hard bargain, but Stick, I appreciate you coming through. All right, yes, folks. Sir. You too. Meanwhile, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 20,000. This is the post-Thanksgiving show. I wanted to talk to you folks because obviously what went on in Washington, D.C. Over this weekend has been nothing but, nothing short of distressing to hear two service personnel lose their lives. I guess the question is, because many believe they should not have been there. It was a girl and a 20-year-old, I want to say girl, but that's a woman, I suppose, 21-year-old female. She's the one that died, and there's another guy that's in critical condition. Now, with many folks saying that they had no right to ever be, they had no reason to ever be in DC. By way of yes or no in the comments, do you think that their deaths, their shootings are what amounts to blood on Trump's hands? I mean, if Trump had them deployed, somewhere where they should not have been to begin with. And while they were in that location, they ended up getting shot. One of them is completely, deceased at this point, slain. Do you believe that that is blood on Trump's hands for sending them there? I mean, I know it's a strong statement, but nevertheless, that is what happened. I mean, now I also want to tell you, there's a photo floating around. I don't have it here to queue up, but the 6 senators, the ones that were made the video talking about you don't have to follow in illegal order, some are claiming that these shootings of the National Guardsmen is blood on their hands. I don't know how that relates, but some are blaming Democrats for what happened to those National Guardsmen. Obviously, Biden is getting blamed because this guy came into the country during the Biden administration. He came over here in 2021. So they're blaming Biden. I guess the indication is that under Trump, these people would never be here. And unlike my last caller, I got to say, I do believe that if President Trump had won in 2020, meaning Biden would not have been elected, I don't believe Trump would have let refugees from Afghanistan come to this country. I think Trump would be totally fine getting Afghans to work with U.S. service personnel, doing interpretations for us, pointing out bad Taliban members so that we could call airstrikes and all of that, and then leaving the cooperating Afghans in that country. I think Trump would be totally fine, pretty much leaving them high and dry. Leaving them high and dry. Just, make sure that not many people know that we left them in harm's way. Make sure the story doesn't get out. But I don't think Trump would reward them with residency and then citizenship in the United States. I think he would take the information they had of value, use it to America's benefit, and leave them where they are. Leave them where they are. I think Trump would do that. And I do have a speculation that I believe the individual that was involved in the shooting in D.C. either knows someone or was a product of that himself. Whereas we don't help the United States against our own people, and now they want to send us back to that country. Trump wants to deport us back to that country where we're going to be found guilty of treason and probably hung. Now, President Trump has already made it clear. You see what I posted in the previous video before I started talking to my last caller. Get us up to 20,000. We'll take the next caller. But President Trump has indicated that he's going to basically close off America to all third world countries. That would include Afghanistan. So you can't come from Afghanistan. And if you hear from Afghanistan, he's going to send you back. So what I am speculating in regards to this assassin is absolutely going to apply to other folks. There are people in this country that are still going through the steps to become a permanent resident or citizen that helped us in Afghanistan. There are plenty of people like that. If he just start mass deporting Afghanis, he's going to send people back and they will be slaughtered. I don't think at this point, particularly the women that are here from Afghanistan, they don't got used to freedom. They've gotten used to, get my grammar right, they've gotten used to freedom and some form of equality. And you're going to send them back into that environment. The outcome is not going to be good for them whatsoever. And I do believe that President Trump and my beloved MAGA would have no problem doing it. I think that most MAGA would be totally fine sending them back into that environment for whatever reason they give. But I do believe that's what's going to happen. Anyway, looking in the comments, deport Presley. One individual, you look like Project Pat and the father of Good Times. All in one, huh? All in one. James Olmos, really? Exactly, Tim, it's sick. Yeah, it is sick. And I think that Trump would do that. This guy literally went against his own country to help the U.S. during a useless war. Yeah, and we're going to reward him by sending him back to his countrymen, where he will. That's what I'm thinking. This guy drove from D.C., from Washington State all the way to D.C. to take out National Guardsmen. That guy had a beef. You don't just do that because you're radicalized. That guy had a beef for something. And my guess is they're not going to tell you what the beef is because it would probably make the United States look bad. That's what I'm thinking, that he probably had a beef for some reason. Jeremy, good evening. Welcome to the program. He got paid a lot and he chose to work. What do you mean by that, Fancy? He got paid a lot. Well, getting paid a lot and getting deported back to where you may be executed, though, I don't think those two things should be conflated. Jeremy, good evening, or good afternoon, rather.
Hey, how you doing? And Tim, you look like Frank Lucas right now. I like the cosplay.
I look like every fucking body. Somebody tell me I look like Suge Knight at the beginning of the show. God damn.
No. I don't see you just beating someone up over a parking spot. Anyway,
thank you.
You seem a little bit more civilized than that.
Appreciate
it. Yeah. So, sorry, this is your show. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking, do you favor President Trump because of what happened in D.C.? He's literally shutting off immigration. His words, all third world countries. Do you agree?
I think that some of how he's doing it is okay. I don't think I agree with the entirety. Like just deporting someone randomly just because they were from any third world country, but like not letting any more in. Yeah, I think that's okay temporarily.
Why? Why prevent anybody from third world countries from coming into America?
Well, it's kind of like this. Let's say you have like some kind of cancer, right? Cancer spreads.
Okay.
Right? Now, what if you just have like, say, stage 1? Okay, that's easy to take care of. Now, stage 2, a little bit harder. You can survive that. Stage 3, that's when it gets really serious. That's really life-threatening, okay? We are kind of at a stage 3 when it comes to immigration. We have lots of people who are in this country illegally, or they are here legally, but they don't speak the language, and they are paying people off to do things like, and this is something that I'm actually angry about. It's personally, there are people out there who are of different varying legal statuses who are actually paying people who are Americans to take tests for them to get their CDL instead of taking it themselves. They can't speak a lick of English, and yet they're driving trucks. We've got a few of them actually.
Yeah. I don't disagree that needs to be brought under control, but there are people that are going to be here from developing countries and maybe even first world countries that are doing some shit too. Why target only third world countries?
It's just simple, Tim. Third world countries have unstable governments and unstable societies. You're more likely to find people who whether they go there to that third world country for their lack of stability, or who were raised there and had to find a way of making money that was illegal, that are going to be coming from third world countries. I'm sorry to say it, but unstable countries produce more crime. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And sometimes it's just because there's no other way of making money.
I gotta vehemently disagree with you. I will tell you this. Now, obviously, poverty can lead to crime. I don't disagree with that. But I'm going to say that when you say that unstable countries produce more crime, no, it's because we judge crime differently. America going into other countries, telling them how they should lead, how they should live, promoting democracy, that is criminal. We just don't call it criminal. What we did in Vietnam, what we've done in Iraq, millions of people are dying from that shit. Just because we don't call it criminal does not mean it's not criminal.
I'm not saying everything the United States has done is correct. However, Vietnam, that was more defensive. The North Vietnamese is invaded South Vietnam last time I checked.
No, we were there to stop the spread of communism in Vietnam.
Stop the spread, but we already had a claim into South Vietnam, correct?
No, it wasn't our country. It was none of our business. We just did not like this country siding with Russia, siding with communism. And so we wanted to be proxies because we didn't want Russia and the Soviet Union or China, any of these communist countries to expand. That's just us participating because we don't like their way of life. We had no reason being there.
We had a reason being there. North Vietnam invaded South Vietnam.
So we're gonna defend any country that gets invaded while we're meanwhile invading countries ourselves?
I didn't say we should do it. And here's the thing: you just because as one person does it wrong doesn't make someone else correct.
No, I agree with that. But if I do something wrong and you're doing something similar, then you no longer have the right to judge me.
Maybe not judge, but we can still call a spade a spade. And here's the thing: just because America as a government has done things that are criminal, doesn't mean that other countries aren't bringing their own crime in, and especially from the individual people, rather than their governments.
I don't. Here's the problem. Now the Afghanis have been here since the end of our excursion in Afghanistan. Have you heard of a lot of Afghan refugees being involved in crimes in America? Is there a lot of them in our prison systems? Where the hell is this coming from?
Well, there aren't a whole lot of Afghanis here, period. So already you're going to have less Afghanis committing crime in the United States. There aren't a whole lot of them in the United States to begin with.
Okay, but in regards to the percentage of them that are here, there was not a whole lot of participants on January 6th. But as my last caller pointed out, a bunch of them have been rearrested for committing more crimes. Have we heard of even a small amount of these Afghan refugees going out and committing violent felonies like the January 6th protesters did?
We haven't heard that yet, but I don't know. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I'm just not aware of any right now. But again, here's the thing, Tim. Here's the thing. Okay. What countries do you think it's easier to operate in international syndicates of criminals in? Stable countries like the United States, where there's far less corruption and there's more likely chance of prosecution, or unstable countries where there are, like for instance Mexico or a lot of Latin American countries, is where there's far more chances that you can just pay someone off to look the other way.
I actually think you could probably do it better in civilized countries, because if you pay off politicians, you get the whole government that works in favor of what you're doing. Where if you're in a country that's lawless, it's going to be hard to get everybody to work on your behalf.
I disagree, and here's why. First off, one of the reasons why it's hard to do that in the United States is because we're highly federalized. Federalized, I should say.
Meanwhile, the mob and the Klan has been doing that shit for most of America's history. These are organizations.
The Klan is like 90% feds. They're nothing. I don't consider them a group I fear. Honestly, I could probably say
obviously, you don't fear the Klan. They would be trying to get your ass to enroll. You don't have a reason to fear the Klan. But go ahead.
Why the fuck would I enroll in the Klan?
I didn't say you would. But you have no reason to fear the Klan. That's like me fearing the Black Panthers.
Because they're overwhelmingly feds that are in there. That's 90% of them.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that the Klan is overwhelmingly feds.
Also the mob is not nearly as strong as it used to be. It got shut down hard in the 80s.
But
the
80s?
That was the height. That was the height of their power. And then in the late 80s and early 90s, that's when they just got kaput.
But Jeremy, think about what you're saying. The 80s and early 90s, the country's been around since the 1700s. Fact is, these entities were able to operate in a civilized first world country for most of that country's operation. We've had groups like you're talking about in America for most of either the Klan or the mob or some of these other horrible operations have existed here, despite us being a civilized first world country for most of our history.
Oh, Tim. First off, they weren't nearly as strong as they were after the 20s. The 20s is when a lot of the people who would later found a lot of what we know as the New York Mafia and the Chicago outfit that came to the United States. That's when a lot of them came. It was primarily Jewish, Irish, and Italian.
You believe the Mafia was not that strong after the 1920s?
No, I'm saying that's when they weren't as strong before that.
No, that was the Klan was operating before that.
Yeah, but that's because, let's be honest, it was a country of racists at the time, including the politicians, and there wasn't, Now that has changed, right? That has changed. We're no longer a country of racists, right? Okay, all right, keep going. Yeah, well, not a majority. I mean, there's always going to be some dumbass with some stupid beliefs out there. But like, there's a great quote that I want to say from Andrew Breitbart. Once said, "Politics is downstream from culture." So if everyone in your culture vehemently believes something, you're going to see that represented in governments. Including both in actual written law and in practice. So of course the Klan was around to do all sorts of horrible shit and for a long time because blacks weren't considered equal. You and I would not be able to have this conversation
Yeah, but the problem is, Jeremy, the Klan would come after you too for talking to me. You'd be an N-word lover. You qualified as a victim as well. So it wasn't just me.
How does that defeat my point? My point is the culture would say, yeah, that's fine. I mean,
it's interesting you use the word culture, because a lot of times you see these blacks on TV committing mob robberies, and some people always say like it's in their culture. You're mentioning culture. Are you suggesting that racism may be part of whites' culture?
It was a part of their history, but there are some parts of their culture that have been jettisoned out. I think most countries and most peoples at the time like our ancestors were probably racist to each other. I don't see most white people going to Africa and then be like, "Hey, we have a table for you right here. Come here, sir." Yes, I don't see that. Okay, I think most cultures were probably racist. But the difference is that the Europeans controlled America, they controlled Europe, and they conquered a lot of Africa. They were the ones in power. Okay, and a lot of people will try to a lot of black activists and a lot of people who are just as racist will try to find every way where that's not the case, and so they'll try to hide themselves from their history. But there was just as much racism, especially Arabs against blacks. They were even worse.
I don't know. This is where the systemic argument comes in. Now, I'm not one that believes that blacks can't be racist. I absolutely believe black people can be racist. However, when you do have the power of the system behind you, it's going to be significantly worse. So we can talk about other groups that are racist towards, let's say, blacks, but because whites, at least in this country and throughout Europe, control the systems in process, their level of racism is significantly worse.
Well, their ability to implement their racism was absolutely worse. Here's the thing, Tim. I don't have to lie about America's past to still love America, and I don't have to lie about it in order to acknowledge what it is today. People change. Their times change. At the end of the day, we can complain all about what was and not acknowledge what is, but that's not going to get us anywhere, is it?
No, and I agree with you. You don't have to lie about the history of this country to not love it. I agree that you can acknowledge what happened and still love America, but the problem is there's a lot of people, some might even argue, including President Trump himself, that wants to limit how much you know about what happened in the past. Because President Trump, in effort to rename bases after Confederates, said we need to defend history. But when the Smithsonian's talking about African American history, he says this is painting a dark picture and it's not looking good, and he's quiet in that stuff. So he is.
Wait, hold on. Are you referring to the clerical error that happened where one specific red tail was taken off the Smithsonian website?
He doesn't even want Juneteenth to be a holiday, Jeremy. He's went way beyond one little clerical error. He's taking out whole what do you want to call it, tributes and things like that at the Smithsonian. But like I said, on Juneteenth, he even said that holiday doesn't need to be around. He's really going after African American history.
Yeah, I'm not a Trump supporter anymore. I haven't been for a while. Oh, and again, he says stupid stuff sometimes. What can I say?
Well, that ain't stupid though. That almost looks like you're biased in favor of one group's culture and history and against another's. That ain't just something stupid. You're gonna say we need to defend the Confederate stuff, but slavery, which happened at the exact same time, we need to stop talking about that. That seems like you're biased.
Yeah, that is dumb. And that is dumb and wrong. And here's what I will say. I do think that there are you should introduce that stuff to kids at different ages, because some of it can be quite brutal, but it should be a part of every public school curriculum to know about the slave trade, the Civil War, all that stuff, just everything that America has done wrong and done right. Yeah, that should definitely not leave.
I don't know if you heard this. Go ahead. I'll give you. What were you about to say?
I kind of wanted to bring it back to the original stuff about holding out on a third world country. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. I'm just post Thanksgiving tiredness.
Take your time. Don't choke on the turkey. Go ahead.
But I just want to say, here's the thing. I'm from a third world country. I was born in Colombia. I understand why some people would be upset.
Wow, I'm just hearing this now. How old were you when you came to America?
6 months. I've lived here most of my life.
Okay.
So that's why I'm so climatized and assimilated.
Are you a citizen?
Yeah, I'm a naturalized citizen.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I don't end up talking to you in Colombia for some strange reason. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think that ultimately it's okay to put a temporary moratorium on third world countries when it comes to immigration, and because
Based on what? Why?
Because a lot of these places have worse crime. A lot of these places oftentimes have people who can be brought. So give them clean papers when they don't have good papers. There's a good paperwork behind them. There's a lot of problems that can come from a lot of these places. Okay, but here's the thing. I don't think it should be permanent. I don't even think it should be an entire term of a president. I think maybe it should be a year while we sort out people who are already here and then allow people who are qualified to come in, including from the third world.
But Jeremy, okay, you got over here leadership from Qatar that was on the terror watch list before Trump became president. We've seen him pardon all of the participants in January 6th. Many of them went alone to commit additional felonies. I mean, he's got the Saudi prince responsible for hacking and chopping reporter Khashoggi to pieces. How all of a sudden now when it comes to the third world people that suddenly crime is something you're concerned with? You've been associating and befriending criminals your entire term. You've had Putin on the red carpet. You went to meet Kim Jong-un at his crib. I mean, you seem to like criminals. All of a sudden now when they're third world citizens, you got a problem with crime. Does that make sense?
Well, no, it doesn't, but you don't have to do either. You can.
But if you're doing one and not the other, something seems wrong.
Yeah, I know. It does. President Trump is clearly hanging out with the Saudis because that's where we're going to get a lot of our oil from. They're very powerful people, and it's like a power move. It's not a morally correct move, and I wouldn't have done it myself if I was in power.
Pardoning the January 6th participants who went on, and we know if Biden pardoned a group of people like that, and let's say he pardoned a bunch of BLM participants, and many of them went on to commit additional crimes. Trump would be all over that. Many of those January 6th participants have committed additional felonies. One got into a shootout with a fucking state trooper. So how can he come across as a law and order guy?
He can't. But that's the thing. I don't have to side with him on everything. I can say that he did this correct and he did that incorrect. I can hold different actions accountable to different standards, because they're different. I can definitely do that. And at the end of the day, Trump is someone who I voted for because he made a bunch of promises and a lot of which he didn't keep. When it comes to the January 6ers, I will say this. Some of them absolutely deserve to be pardoned, while some of them should have been in jail. Some of them, I think there's one guy who slashed some police car tires. That guy should be in jail. Well, some other people literally were just on the steps of the Capitol, and they weren't even part of the real, going inside of the Capitol. But they were arrested anyway, despite it's the fact that they were just, recording what happened.
How do you respond to folks who say that maybe some of their people that they were fighting for, their leadership, should be in jail for sending them to the Capitol to be on those steps to begin with because it was over a bullshit reason?
I don't think so. I see when Trump said that, make your voice heard, and he was saying be peaceful about it, which I know some people say, oh, he said it at the end of the speech. He still said it.
What do you even if you're going to be peaceful, make your voice heard about what? What are you complaining about? Why are you here?
Well, they were complaining that what was his name, Pence, was going to certify the election, right? Mike Pence was going to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah. And Trump threw a bit of a tantrum and said, no, I didn't want that. That's not okay. Now, I can say for sure it was definitely suspicious how Biden was able to get more votes in history than most other presidents get. And yet, he was as unpopular as he was. That was a little suspicious, I'm not going to lie. But there are better channels to do that.
But it was not unpopular in 2020. He's unpopular in 2024 because he had served a term. Before, when Trump was saying he won the election, Biden, the only thing he had done was been a senator most of his life and served under Obama. He was not unpopular in 2020.
Oh, come on. Even back then, we could all see the dementia signs. We all could see it.
I don't think he was anywhere near as unpopular as you suggest. Like I said, in 2024, you got a point. But in 2020, that man was not that unpopular. And by the way, the dementia signs there were no cases of him falling down. He wasn't really stuttering. He didn't have a lot of dementia signs back then. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Maybe we just see different things. I don't know.
Okay.
But my point is that people can do bad things and be punished for them on the one hand, and people can do bad things and not be punished on the other hand. And if someone is inconsistent, that is a bad thing for them to be. They should be consistent across the board. But that doesn't mean you can't say good job for doing this correctly and bad job for not doing this correctly. When Trump does something right, I'm going to congratulate him and say, okay, good job.
All right.
As simple as that.
Fair enough. Jeremy, I do got to move it on. There was another topic I wanted to cover with you, but unfortunately got to move it on because of time. Always pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, man.
You too. Looking in the comments, where did I say, okay, he didn't understand the first EO he signed. Dementia was already there in 2020. Even if that's what my last caller said, that in 2020, Biden had signs of dementia or whatever. To be honest with you, if we're going to use that stuff to suggest Biden had signs of dementia, then Trump does too. Trump is doing things and he can't recall. I pointed out many times on the program how he talked about Civil War military personnel defending airports, which the Civil War happened 100 years before the invention of the airplane. And Trump talked about them defending the airports. Trump has said some wild shit just yesterday when he was holding a press conference in regards to these National Guardsmen that have been shot. He was attacking Biden, and he said under Biden, billions of people have entered this country illegally. Billions. There's not billions on the planet. Everybody on this planet could come to America, and it still would not make Trump's statement accurate. He said billions of people. President Trump said some pretty wild shit, too. We just kind of give Trump a pass because we expect wild shit from Trump. We don't expect it from Biden. Biden normally maintains a certain level of professionalism, so anything wild Biden says is going to stand out like a green thumb. Trump has virtually no professionalism, so he could slip in hundreds of crazy statements and it wouldn't really draw any attention because this is what the guy does. In Trump's case, it stands out when he's acting professional. Kind of like how Marjorie Taylor Greene now looks really interesting because she's acting professional. That's the difference. But that doesn't mean Trump doesn't have signs of dementia as well. Tap the screen, get us on up to 40. What am I looking at here? 40,000. Trump is getting old, almost 80, but nothing like Joe Biden's issues. And Trump talks to us a lot more than Biden did. That is true. Trump absolutely talks to the public a lot more than Biden, but it doesn't always work in his favor because if he says something that is not true, he's likely to repeat it over and over and over again at future press conferences and rallies, such as, his election results in 2020. He keeps repeating that. He says that over and over again. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 40,000. Dincal, welcome to the program. Incorrect. Biden was the least likable president ever. And there were weird things happening that put it in his favor. He couldn't stand at the podium without propping himself up or fall upstairs. All of that happened after he was president. Monkey Pool. When Biden ran for president in when Biden became president in 2020, you got an echo. He had been campaigning, and none of that had been happening. That stuff happened after he became president. Dincal, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
Is it echoing?
No, you're good now. So Trump is going to, I'm going to be kind to Trump and say suspend immigration from all third world countries. My guess is he's meaning to do it permanently, indefinitely, but they're using phrases like suspend. This is in regards to the National Guard shooting of 2 personnel in D.C. Do you think that's the right path to take?
Of course not. How do you just say a country full of immigrants that we're going to start cutting off just specific immigrants? They have no history of any type of radicalized behavior. Like, you're talking about one guy. One guy did
one
something.
guy. All this for one guy. That is true.
And now while Jeremy was talking shit, I think he realizing his dumb ass next.
Well,
his naturalized ass. They talking about denaturalizing people.
Yeah, that would be. Well, Jeremy's been here, according to him, since he was 6 months old. So he is a natural.
Don't matter. They putting women out who've been here for 30 years, who've been in the community, who all they got was a parking ticket. They going to pick people up. They don't give a damn how long you've been here. They're talking about reversing naturalization process of people who are those people who came over here from Afghanistan were promised asylum. When they decided to help the American government said, if you help us, we will help you get away from this terrible place. That was the promise they made. And so now when they come over here, one person does something wrong, and now he's saying all of them need to go.
It's laughable. I mean, I hate to laugh at it because it could lead to a lot of their slaughter, but I agree with you 100%. One guy who's been apprehended, he's not being hid or cared for by the community. There's no reason to punish other Afghans that I can see for this one guy, but MAGA likes this kind of stuff, didn't Cal?
The man was here for multiple years, and this is what people are not. They need to keep on telling it. Them people, him, when he came over here, he came under Biden, obviously, because that's when the war ended, when we pulled out. He just got reaffirmed earlier this year by the Trump administration. So they're the ones who said, they put the stamp on it. Yep, you good to go to stay.
But then let me ask you, why do you think this individual, I mean, and we're speculating, we don't know yet, but him working with the CIA is awfully interesting. I want to know more about that. But why do you think this guy would literally drive all the way across the country to do something like this?
Man, it would be hard to, I mean, it could be a bunch of things. He could have family back in this country that he's been trying to get over here for the longest time. And now under Trump, he realizes they'll never get away. And maybe they're under the threat of the Taliban and he's trying to help them and he's pissed off. It could be so many different reasons why. I have no idea. But I do know that people that we get to help us during these situations, we always turn our backs on them.
Yeah.
We always turn our backs on them. We just leave people to get slaughtered all over the all over the world when we go in saying, we gonna get y'all out of this bad situation if you just help us.
I don't get that though, Dencal, other than maybe just ignorance and not knowing history, because you are right. I mean, America has a history of breaking deals and treaties and promises. I mean, the term Indian giver was created by the Native Americans solely because of what we did to them. That's where the term Indian giver comes from. You give them something, then you take it back. I mean, you talk about the Vietnamese, you could talk about the Iraqis who rose up to help us against Saddam Hussein, and then he ended up slaughtering his own people. I mean, we have a history of doing it. Why do you think people continue trusting the United States?
Because we are such good liars, and we lie with a straight face, and we send important high-ranking people to talk to them and to give them hope and to give them and to feed their families and tell them, look, if you just help us, we're the good guys. We trying to get you out of this situation. Mm-hmm. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me to even say it, saying that I spent, most of my life, in the military. But we all know they had us basically kill probably over 1 million Iraqis who had nothing to do with nothing, who was just living their lives. And we was going door to door in some of these places and slaughtering people. And then, so the people that tried to help us, we tell them, look, we doing this for y'all. we doing this to help y'all. And if you help us, we will guarantee your safety. And we keep doing it over and over again. And I don't know what Jeremy was over there talking about. Man, I don't know about people sometimes, man. He was up there talking about, well, the Klan, what this and the Klan, what that. And then, the mafia and the mafia just got caught a couple of weeks ago with a big gambling scam with the NBA.
It ain't just the NBA. They're in baseball and everything too. It ain't just the NBA. The NBA is at the tip of the iceberg, but yeah, they've been buying off athletes in many sports. But
yeah. And then he was talking about the Saudi. He was with the Saudis because they was gonna help us with the oil. They are our competitors. You don't drill and go to the Saudis and get them to lower prices. You can't pump oil. You can't create more oil in America if the prices are really low. You need the prices to be high for the American companies to profit.
So what do you think? So what do you think Trump is trying to do in that case with the Saudis? Then, if
he has plans for resorts in every last one of them countries, in Saudi Arabia, the UAE. What's the other one? It's like 4 or 5 of those different countries over there that he has deals right now that are going through. His sons are running those things. Just the same way.
Why do all this at 80 years old, though? I mean, kind of to quote the actor from King of New York, you think you're gonna live long enough to spend that money you're fucking off? I mean, he's gonna be dead. I mean, like, you're not going to be around to enjoy the fruits of that stuff.
Right. But you could ask the same question about why would Elon Musk go to his company and demand $1 trillion pay package?
Yeah.
Why did he jump into the United States government and just fire and destroy and didn't save us not a damn dime?
Yeah, and I see.
Why would he? What would make him do that? You would think the richest man in the world, all he have to do is sit his ass back. He could keep on doing his presentations with Tesla and SpaceX, and he would have enough money for 100 generations of his family. But no, power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
These people want more. It don't matter how much they got. They want more. They want more. They want more.
Yeah, and that's insane. But do you now? I know where MAGA stands on this. Do you believe wealth should be limited at some level?
I do. I used to be against it for the longest time because the wealth. We wasn't talking about wealth in this, like trillions of dollars was back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even the 2000s. Nobody was thinking about somebody having $1 trillion. Like that's just. When somebody was a billionaire, we was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
People don't even understand how much $1 trillion is.
What is that? 1,000 billion? Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember my biology teacher way back in the day telling me if you had $1 billion, you could spend $50,000 a day and never run out of money for the rest of your life. And that was at 1 billion. These guys are worth triple-digit billions. Like, yeah, I don't get that.
I know before he was making like $280 million a day. That was before the $1 trillion deal. When we think about it, like money is not a finite thing, and when all of the majority of it gets trapped at the top, then everybody below suffers. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. They keep saying, well, if you make the money, you could just keep it. That's because everybody thinks one day that they're going to get that kind of money.
Yeah, the chances of you being, that's never going to happen. I mean, it's probably worse than the Powerball odds. But in the comments, Big Boss says, sounds like you are hating on wealthy people. Says he seems to be jealous of another man's wealth. This is what the right tends to say when you make statements like that.
And he probably ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But he talking about, I'm not jealous. I do very well for myself. I have generational wealth. This ain't about me. If we gonna be in the country that we say that we supposed to be in it together, then I'm not gonna shit on people that don't have. I'm not going to be like, well, I got mine, well, fuck them. And I don't care how much the rich people get. And I'm not going to say we just need to keep giving all of the money to the rich people so it could trickle down and then it'll come down to us, because it's never, we've tried that how many times with Reagan, with Bush.
I think we're trying it again with President Trump. I want to play something for you. I don't think you heard this because you weren't here at the beginning, but I want to get your opinion on this. This is some wild shit. And by the way, Justin 3415, appreciate that. Welcome, friend of the program. Have you heard this story? It's kind of comical, but then again, it's almost frightening.
We've been following breaking news all throughout the morning, but we do have another developing story that we're keeping an eye on. This coming in moments ago from our Fox 4 Dallas team. And I do want to remind you and say here, viewer discretion is advised as some of the details are disturbing. Now, we're hearing that 2 North Texas men have been indicted for an alleged scheme to sail to a foreign island, murder all the men there, and enslave the women and children. Again, this information here coming from court documents, as they say the men planned and trained for nearly a year. That's according to legal documents, in an attempt, they say, to fulfill their, quote, rape fantasies. Gavin Rivers Weissenberg, 21 years old of Allen, seen there on the left-hand side of your screen, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20 years old, have been indicted by a grand jury on counts of conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country and production of child pornography. The charges were given for the pair's extensive plans to travel to an island, which is part of the Republic of Haiti, to attempt a coup there. That's again, according to the documents. Weisenberg and Thomas reportedly prepared from August 2024 to July 2025 to execute their plans, in which they allegedly intended to buy a boat, sail to that island, kill every man on the island, overtake it by force, and take the women and children as slaves.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but I think we need to find out their nationalities, and we need to ban anybody coming from another country. We need to ban them all, wherever they come from. We need to find out whose country they is, and we need to stop them from coming until we figure out what the hell is going on with them.
You can't do that.
Don't wait a minute. You can't say we can't do that when we're about to do it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I never thought that's hilarious, but that is what's happening with what just took place in DC.
But we always view things from a perspective of America good. I can tell people right now, I used to live down the street from Dearborn, Michigan for most of my youth.
Mm-hmm.
They got about the least amount of crime in any damn city in Michigan. But everybody want to say if a Muslim do something, now they're a third world country people and they come in here to do crime. No, they come in here to try to enjoy what an open and free society looks like, where they can pray to whoever they want to pray to, who they can live however they want to live. But we demonize them and make it seem like when one Muslim or Afghanistan guy do something, we need to figure out what all of them damn Muslims is doing.
So why do you think President Trump would take it to that level of punishing whole groups of people for the action of one?
Because he's been wanting to do it ever since he tried to do the Muslim ban. He's always wanted to keep them out of this country, but he wants to partake in their money in their countries. He wants to build these resorts, which is the strangest thing ever. He wants to build these resorts in all of these, these Muslim countries. He wants to court all of their leaders as fine people. And, he said MBS is, everybody's got a past, and he didn't know. He's not, they strict, you know what I'm saying? Nothing goes down in his government without him knowing.
True.
To think that some government agents at the embassy just decided on their own, we're just going to chop this guy up and take him out in trash bags, that he had nothing to do with it. And instead of Trump letting them answer the question, he jumps in and don't allow him to say nothing about it.
Yeah.
So all of these people, I can't believe that Jeremy is up there talking about, we should do it for a little while till we figure out. You can never figure out something that's not true. You can't figure out who's crazy. You can't just figure out who's, this or that. This is a free country. We commit more crimes as American than any foreigner that has ever come into this country. Why are we going to address millions, if not billions of dollars re-vetting people that have already been vetted?
But how can you, wait a minute, how can you vet them? Like, for instance, President Trump yesterday when he gave that press conference, he posted this picture that you see on my screen on television. This is I guess a C-130 or a C-5 Galaxy, one of the big cargo aircraft filled with Afghan refugees. And he's blaming Biden for all these people coming here without being vetted. The question I'm asking is, how could you vet them? You think the Taliban is going to give you the criminal history of these people? How do you vet them?
Well, with these people, they were vetted, but not, I guess, I'm pretty sure not as much as people would have liked to think in the very beginning. Because at the end of the war, what they told people was the people, the interpreters, the people who assisted us, they all were told to go to the local embassy, and then those people were sent onto that base, onto Bagram, to leave. To leave, because they knew the Taliban was going to take over. The Afghans were dropping their weapons. So those people were vetted to the extent that they could be, as they needed vouchers, people to vouch for them, the people that they worked with. The service members, they knew who they were working with and the people who were supposed to, gain asylum.
So
then once they got to the country, then they did as much of a vetting as you can do when nothing, no paperwork or anything is good over there in Afghanistan. There's only so much you can really do.
Right.
So but like you told him, show me another, we should have about 30 examples right now of Afghanis.
Right.
If we let in hundreds of thousands of them or millions, whatever they're talking about, even if it was 10,000, we should see stuff going boom, boom all over the country then, right?
And that's the point I was making with Jeremy, is that these folks, how many Afghani citizens or Afghani refugees are in our prisons? You don't hear about them committing crimes at all. This guy took out 2 people. If this had been an average black or average white guy, it would have just been okay. So, somebody in America, thoughts and prayers would have been what it would have amounted to.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. They would have been like just the same way they do it now. We need to send more of them in there.
Well, he's doing that anyway. 500 additional.
How do you stop a crazed person that goes across the country to commit a heinous act? How do you stop that?
Yeah, I don't see, listen, the guy has been shot. He's in custody. I don't see what Trump's doing is going to, reduce the chances of this happening again. And there's no reason to believe it's going to happen again. It's just, to me, it seems like just an overreaction.
Even if somebody had the mindset, if you send 10,000 people there, them people is walking around on patrols. They're not thinking nothing crazy. You cannot stop somebody who is willing to die for whatever crazy thing they commit in their head. I don't care how many people you put on the streets. You're not stopping it.
It's a good point. You can't stop somebody who intends on killing security. Now, if you're Trump and you want to be secure in D.C., so you send in 500 more additional National Guards to make sure you are secure in the White House, you are going to benefit from added security. But if the guy's job is to come and shoot at security, you're right. If you put more security there, you're just giving them more targets.
Right. And, I'll say this. I resort back to my younger days when I didn't, when I wasn't exactly a law-abiding citizen. Whenever we was going to go do something bad, we always identified the people who would be able to stop us, and those are our first. That's the entry point. If it's a bank, who getting it first? The security guard. If it's a grocery store, who getting it first? The management. You always know that. So what people think just because you bring in more people, it's going to somehow stop crazy people from doing crazy shit. You can't.
Yeah. You're telling too much, Dick. You're telling too much. I got to move it on, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Sending in more National Guard. This guy wanted to shoot National Guard, so if you put more of them in the area, you just give them more people to shoot. I don't see how this stops any of this. And by the way, with the guy being captured already, there is no reason to believe that other Afghanis plan to come to DC to do this. So to me, it just amounts to a complete overreaction. Last word on you.
Yeah, I just wanted to address one thing that I've been hearing people say about what's going on in the military. And one thing I haven't heard one answer to is, why are they kicking our black men who have a skin condition? That is targeting one specific group of people who have this particular problem. It's never been a problem ever in the history of this country when black men fight is about their beards, and whether they can shave daily like they're told to do. We have a skin condition because of the coarseness of our hair.
Do you think it's do you think it is some sort of racist policy? You think he's being racist?
What? Why would you say, if you can't get rid of this skin problem, then you get kicked out? It has nothing to do with good order and discipline. If I need to get it's called a shaving chit, where they inspect my shave, where they inspect my skin, they make me shave, they inspect my skin, and then I come back a few days later and they see if it's worse than my skin condition, because we got those ingrown hairs that go back into our skin, and it causes irritation and all of that stuff. So now, whenever we sweat or whenever we put on straps, around our faces and stuff, we get a lot of pain, and it's just painful to get those bumps and stuff because they grow in the, they sprout up, and the pus comes out of them, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Why in the world would somebody say that good order and discipline comes from you looking a certain way? Now, I understand everybody needs to be, everybody needs to have their hair certain standard, but I'm talking about something that's genetically.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for it, and I tend to agree with you that it does sound racist. Look, in my 20s, it would have got me kicked out as well, because I used to have razor bumps really bad. Didn't know how to shave in the wrong direction, not going with the grain and stuff like that. I used to get them really bad, and it was just like you're talking about. They'd be, you squeeze it in the pus, and that long ass ingrown hair come out of it. I mean, I had it really bad, and it would not have stopped me from any duty that I was, responsible for in the military. It has nothing to do with prohibiting your duties. I don't know why they would do that, other than maybe it's what you're talking about. We know this only affects one group of people, and if we blacklist this particular ailment, it'll get those people.
Yeah, and I got people on here talking about I'm race baiting. I'm asking a simple question that nobody can answer. Instead of answering the question intelligently, they want to say that I'm race baiting. I'm talking about a specific group of people that have dedicated their lives and possibly given their lives in the service of this country are getting unfairly pointed out and losing their careers. And I don't care what nobody says. That's not race baiting. That's the truth. And that's what people don't want to talk about in this country, is the truth. That's why they want to get rid of our history. That's why they want to prop up Confederates, and they want to get rid of African-American history.
Mm-hmm. All right, then, Cal. Appreciate you coming through. Sad state of affairs, but thank you for coming through.
Yep.
And by the way, I do believe with President Trump, image makes a big difference. I actually believe that's one of the primary reasons Pete Hegseth got his job. I believe it's image more than actual accomplishments and achievements. I think that, they're talking about people need to lose weight and things like that. You heard President Trump, if you've seen his press conference yesterday, he was talking about, how the military personnel look like they could be central casting, and they could be, he's talking about how much he likes Tom Cruise and how great they look. I think he wants a military that fits a certain image, that G.I. Joe type image, or the chiseled chin. White guys, though. White guys. This is my opinion. So you can go with that as you may. But my opinion is that he wants our military to have a certain image. And you hear him talking about that image all the time. And I really believe that's why Pete Hegseth was chosen as the head of the military, because he fits that particular image. I really believe that. Anyway, looking in the comments, And that's the problem with white America. They constantly call everything race baiting. Look, I don't know about white America always calling things race baiting, but I do know if you speak out against inequalities towards race, there is going to be a portion of white America that's going to say you're race baiting. You're race baiting. In fact, I don't think there's a civil rights leader in American history that was not accused of race baiting. They said this, they said it about Martin Luther King, and Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are race baiters. I believe they said that about Colin Kaepernick and the likes of LeBron James. All of them. If you speak out against racial inequality, people are going to call you a race baiter. In some cases, they may actually call you a racist, because they certainly say that about modern day civil rights advocates. They say they're racist too. I mean, Al Sharpton's a racist, Jesse Jackson's a racist, all of them. They say that. So I don't. We can go anywhere with it, and talk about why it happens, but it absolutely does happen. Canada is European stock. I don't know what you mean by that. Kevin is okay. You guys are talking amongst each other. Real quick in the comments here. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 70. We pretty close. Tap the screen, let your thumbs not be lazy. This is MAGA-friendly programming. Despite the commentary you may hear, MAGA are my preferred guests. We don't get as many MAGA, but if you want to call in on the program, feel free to come join us on The Handsome Liberal on TikTok. If you have Instagram, come on over to Instagram. Same name, we'll bring you right up. We're currently live on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So we're currently live on all of those programs. They believe you just take it up. I don't know what that means. Trump is an awful person. It's easy to dislike him, says Kevin. Well, some would replace the term awful with he's an asshole or he's an egomaniac, whatever term you want to use. But whatever term you put in there, even if you don't think Trump is awful, you're going to have he's a dick or something. I mean, whatever term you put in there, the fact remains what my viewer is saying. He is easy to hate. He is easy to hate. I mean, he says crazy shit. He's always on the attack, whether it's revenge or whether it is just him being offensive. He is always on the attack. So he does make himself easy for some people to hate. So, but a lot of folks like him. The MAGA side of the aisle loves what he's doing. They believe you just Bob get fuck Trump didn't pull the trigger on Biden's Muslims. I don't know what you mean by that. But anyway, tap the screen, get us on up to 70,000. If they stop doing the shit that's considered as RB, that's when we stop using it. What do you mean RB, Bigsby fan? I don't know what does the acronyms RB mean? You said if they stop doing the shit, if they stop during the shit, during or doing, you says during. If they stop during the shit that's considered RB, that's when we stop using it. I don't quite get what you're saying. Trump's always full of shit anytime you see him. I'm going to leave it at he's a politician. Some would argue that most politicians are always full of shit. Race baiting. Okay, fair enough. I do agree with that. If they stop race baiting, if they stop doing that kind of race baiting shit, then we'll stop using it. I agree with that, but this is America. Let me go back to the box. We'll continue on with MAGA Reacts. Good evening, afternoon, evening. What time of day it is? 1 o'clock. MAGA Reacts. Good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Did you see the video I played of them two individuals wanting to conquer a portion of Haiti?
Yeah, Haiti needs to ban people from the United States from going there. No more Americans in Haiti.
Well, I don't think nobody from the United States is trying to get to Haiti anyway. So, except for them two fools, though.
Yeah, how you gonna kill like 80,000 people worth of men? That's like at least like 30 or 40,000 men.
I don't know. Well,
armed and shit.
Well, but you know, as ridiculous as it sounds, MAGA, the problem is there is a historical precedent. I mean, how many English folks came over here on the Mayflower and they ended up conquering America? I mean, you tricked some folks into believing you're on their side.
Yeah, but they had guns versus bows and arrows.
Yeah, but it was only a small. It was only a very even with guns, you're talking about only a small contingent of people taking over a continent.
Yeah, exactly. It's impossible,
right?
Especially if they're armed and they're just. I mean, with the what are we talking about here? These white people or
the two white guys that wanted to go to Haiti, kill all the men, and enslave and rape the kids.
Yeah, that's impossible to do. Like, how are they going to do that? They got at least 40,000 men versus what, 2 or 5 or even 10 white people?
But I'm telling you, it's been done before. If you get some of the folks to think you're on their side, you're going to give them, you don't tell them what the plan is to begin with. You tell them you're here for some kind of humanitarian reason or whatever. You give them reasons to hate some of their own people, and they're temporarily on your side, and they help you destroy some of their own. That's what happened with the Native Americans. We use some Native Americans as friends to help us against other Native Americans. They didn't know at the end of the day, we're going to take over you too. But that's kind of what happened.
Bro, modern day Haitians are not as stupid or naive or innocent as old back in the day Indians or whatever, Native Americans. They didn't know anything. Most people didn't know anything because most people's world was not bigger than a few miles around them.
I want to agree with you, but here we are now talking about Afghans that are going to get kicked out of this country for, once again, we went to Afghanistan, got some of them to believe we were friends. They ended up working against their own people, thinking they were going to get citizenship and residency in America, and here Trump is about to send them back. So that's a modern day example of something very similar.
Not really. And most of what you said is race baiting speculation by Denko.
Explain. Elaborate.
What do you mean? Trump hasn't fucking decided on anything. He hasn't even. How many Afghans has he deported since last night?
Well, shit, it takes time to do it, Magary X. I mean, he said it on a holiday weekend. He just said yesterday he is going to pause immigration from all third world countries.
Doesn't mean he's going to do it.
So we don't hold him accountable for what wait a minute. Even if he doesn't do it, we don't hold the president accountable for what he promises?
That's not how it works. He's being tough. He's making sure his rhetoric is tough so people know that he's not going to be a pussy when it comes to people killing, doing terrorism.
So if he wait a minute. So if he promises that he's going to kick everybody out, we're supposed to just ignore it and think that he's being tough.
Well, he has to be tough. He just his people were just attacked by terrorists, by people that Biden let in without vetting.
But what you're trying to say is the people should automatically know that he's not going to do what he's saying he's going to do.
We just know he's going to be tough, and he
didn't say tough. He didn't say tough, MAGA. He said he's going to ban folks from our third world countries. He didn't use the word tough. He gave a description of what he's going to do.
What word did he use? Because what I saw was some reporter feeding him a line, and he answered it, but it wasn't really his own words. Those are
wait, say that again.
Reporter feeding him some bullshit, and he just where did he say this? What are we referring to? He said
it.
I've only seen a few things on this.
Yeah, he said it on social media, but I want you to hear the News Nation story. He said it on social media. I think they put on the screen what he typed.
In D.C. this morning, some big changes could be coming to U.S. immigration policy and the fallout from this tragic shooting that happened just over my shoulder here about 2 blocks from the White House. President Donald Trump saying he wants to permanently pause all migration from third world countries and end all benefits for immigrants.
This heinous atrocity reminds us that we have no greater national security priority than ensuring that we have full control over the people that enter and remain in our country. For the most part, we don't want them.
Those comments from the president came after more details emerged about the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanula Lakanwal, who once worked with and was vetted by the
Now, real quick before we continue on, he said a lot more than that little clip they played because he actually posted it on social media. And I'm trying to find where that's at, but he actually said that he was going, I mean, because he said until America immigration system gets under control. He actually named the countries, by the way, too. I have that clip. He actually named the countries that are no longer allowed to come here, and he's going to be kicking people out from a host of countries. So there's far more than that little clip they played of him, because as always, he gets on social media and says a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta wait to see what he actually does, if he's being fair or if he's being, an asshole or what he's doing.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is what he posted on Truth Social. I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover, terminate all the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen, and remove anyone who is not an asset to the United States. What say you?
Like I said, we gotta see what he actually does, because I do agree with him removing all the people that Biden let in unvetted. Sounds like this guy was vetted and ended up being a bad guy. So let's see if this was something that we could have caught in his background, or if this came out of nowhere. Let's see what made him do this, because I wouldn't be surprised, coming from Washington, that the left had something to do with this, because that's like the craziest leftists come from Washington State.
Why would you think the left has something to do with this individual driving across the country and doing this?
Fuck yeah, because all they've done is demonize the National Guard. I'm here listening to all these guys every fucking day. And every day they haven't said one good thing about the National Guard. They demonize them every fucking day. And surprise, some
wait. So you're going to say that because you guys demonize the Democrats. Trump says the Democrats hate America. So anything that happens to a Democrat, you're going to say the right is responsible?
Look, we don't demonize Democrats like you guys demonize.
The man said the Democrats hate him. What the hell are you talking about? The man clearly said the Democrats hate America. How is that not demonization?
It's not as bad as saying that, these people are fucking the Gestapo, that they're stormtroopers trying to, hurt everybody and kill people of any nationality that's not American, that's not white.
Saying that Democrats hate America.
And more of the, what do you call it?
So saying Democrats hate America is really not that bad, is what you're saying.
I mean, it depends, but not really.
Depends on what? What does it depend on? What does it depend on? If you say the Democrats hate America, what does it depend on? Clear it up for me.
Well, the one thing is the Democrats is like half the country. That's not very specific. Where the National Guard is a very specific group of people, especially the ones in D.C., and how they've been demonized every day. It's like, they don't do anything for crime. They're soldiers. They're just going to murder people.
Let me ask you this way.
I've heard on this live every fucking day. Am I lying, or did I hear these things?
I know. I'm trying to figure out what your mind says. Let me ask it to you this way. If you say Democrats, hold on. If you say Democrats hate America, is that demonizing Democrats?
Not necessarily, but not to the level that
how do you demonize the
National Guard.
Okay,
it's not black and white, Tim. You treat everything like it's black and white.
Okay.
It's not black and white. There's different levels to things.
How do you know when a person is? Tell me, what does it take for you to consider something demonization?
When you call somebody a Nazi or a stormtrooper or secret police, when you try to relate them to Nazis in any way.
So if I say, if I call you a Nazi. So if I call you a Nazi, I'm demonizing you. But if you say I'm unpatriotic and I hate America, you're not demonizing me.
Yes, a lot of people hate America. That's nothing special. The Nazis were evil people that murdered millions of people that weren't white.
I think you're crazy. Look, you don't say.
You're crazy if you think the Nazis are not worse than just hating America. Like,
people, you do realize Bin Laden hated America, right?
Yeah, and if they were calling him a terrorist, I would agree with you. But they weren't calling him terrorists. They're calling them Nazis.
No. I'm just simply saying, when you say somebody hate America, you're putting them in the same category as people like that. And you're saying it.
No, not at all.
Did Bin Laden hate America?
Yeah, but he was a terrorist. He wanted to kill Americans.
If you hate
the Nazis wanted to kill anyone that wasn't like ultra white. versus anyone that hates America doesn't necessarily want to kill all people of any certain race.
I think you're kind of making your own rules as you go along. To me, telling somebody
You're making everything black and white because it serves your purpose, but it's stupid.
You're the first person I've ever talked to that said telling somebody they hate their own country is not demonizing them. I've never heard anybody else say something like that.
No, it is demonize them, but it's not the same as fucking Nazi. Calling them a Nazi who murdered people, just innocent people.
People who hate America are capable of murdering innocent people too.
Yeah, but these people definitely did it. This is way more specific and way more of like it's like calling someone a bad person versus calling them the fucking devil.
I don't know if you
is the king of the demons.
I don't know if you realize it, but people were calling Obama a fascist and a Nazi when he was in office. That's kind of what goes around. They were calling him that shit too. There were pictures of him with a little Adolf mustache out there.
Yeah, these are random crazies versus the entire left. You guys are on every kind of media. You guys are on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere calling them demons. Not just some random fucking nobodies. It's the entire left. You demonize, you demonize people and then act stupid the next day when they get shot at.
I think what makes your statement work is that you hold the Democrat insults to a higher regard, and you kind of conveniently because Trump has not only said they hate America, he said they want to destroy America, and I guess that ain't demonization either.
Yeah, it's not the same as they're gonna just kill people, that they don't know how to deal with people, and they're gonna murder everyone they run into. I mean, I've been on this live every fucking day listening to this shit. Even when I don't come up, I still listen to the shit you guys say. And you guys painted the National Guard to be like worse than Nazis. And tell me otherwise. Tell me that
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Has said about the National Guard from the left.
I'm not. Well, they're not complaining. They're saying most of the shit you're talking about. They're kind of saying about ICE. The National Guard is not on TV dragging people out of cars and shit. They don't like Trump's deployment of the National Guard. They may suggest that the way Trump is using the National Guard is similar to the Third Reich, but they don't have a problem. The Democrats do not have a problem with individuals that are, hang on. The Democrats do not have a problem with individuals serving on behalf of the National Guard. They do have that problem with ICE because the National Guard hasn't really been doing anything but standing around. So they don't hate the National Guard, they hate ICE.
But they still they were talking shit about them just yesterday.
About the National Guard.
But also ICE. ICE is the same thing. How many times have ICE been shot at?
No,
How many times have they shot bullets at ICE because of this demonization?
Here's the difference. ICE is actually taking adverse action against Americans. National Guard are just standing around. They don't like Trump deploying the National Guard, but the National Guard hasn't done anything to hurt people so far. ICE has done things to hurt lots and thousands of families. So the way the Democrats view the National Guard is solely because Trump deployed them. The way the Democrats view ICE is solely because them motherfuckers became members of ICE. They believe that the moment you become a member of ICE, there's a problem with you. They don't believe that if you decide to join the National Guard.
I don't think you should demonize either. And the way you guys talk, I can't tell the difference between the National Guard and ICE. You guys say the same shit about the National Guard that you say about ICE.
That probably has something to do with the media you watch, because I'm going to tell you, I'm willing to...
I only watch you nowadays. I watch you more than Fox.
Oh, shit. Well, then, goddamn it, if you're watching me, listen to what the fuck I'm saying now then. I'm telling you. The Democrats hate individual ICE participants, not the National Guard. They just don't like the way Trump is using the National Guard. If the National Guard walks down the street in a U.S. city, like in a parade, we're not talking about when they're doing law enforcement. If they just do it in a parade in a U.S. city, people are thanking for their service and everything. If ICE does that, they're going to say, get the fuck out of here. They don't like ICE. They're okay with the National Guard.
Well, why are you guys so afraid of the National Guard going to Chicago?
Because we believe Trump's goal is to use them like he's using ICE.
use them to bring down crime, use them to make the city better. Like if you're saying that the left doesn't believe that the National Guard are not Nazi stormtroopers, why are they so against letting them patrol Chicago and reducing crime just by being there?
Because at some point when you over police a neighborhood, the police start becoming the criminals, taking away. If I violate your Fourth Amendment rights or your Second Amendment rights or your Fifth Amendment rights or then I'm a criminal. So what ends up happening is the cops become the criminals, taking people's assets and things like that, seizing property they don't have any right.
Mixing up with cops, which you've also demonized. We've already established that the National Guard, all they do is patrol, and they don't actually police anything. They're just a presence of safety.
And that's why I keep telling you, they don't hate the National Guard yet. That's why I keep telling you. You got that wrong. The Democrats don't hate the National Guard.
But we're talking about the National Guard being in fucking Chicago, and you went straight up to police and basically using the demonization of police against the National Guard being in Chicago.
Well, let's be real, MAGA. The only reason why the National Guard are not acting as police is because the law is preventing Trump from doing it. If Trump had his way, he would replace all Chicago police officers with National Guardsmen. We know that his end goal is giving them a whole lot more power than they legally have right now. People can see the writing on the wall. That's why they don't like him.
Well, that's what we call demonization, because I don't think even if they wanted to, the National Guard could do what you say.
Well, we're going to demonize the same way you guys would demonize the left if you thought the left were going to go above and beyond the powers they have. This is what happens.
I don't remember Trump saying the left is going to patrol your neighborhood and shoot you. When did they say that?
He's blaming the left for everything.
When did he say they're going to arrest you?
He's blaming the left for every damn thing. He's blaming the left for every damn thing else that's going wrong with neighborhoods. That's about the only thing he ain't saying.
Yeah, but he's not saying they're going to shoot you and, deport you. Even if you're an American, they're going to come and deport you.
No, he's blaming the actual citizens in left-wing neighborhoods. He's blaming us for committing all the crimes and shit, saying you can't walk down the streets. He's painting the citizens out to be that way.
Whatever the case is, he just wants to send in National Guard to protect the cities, but you demonize him because you don't want him to bring safety to your city, which I find crazy.
Because the National Guard...
they're not cops. They're not going to be doing illegal search and seizure or anything. They're just going to patrol.
MAGA, the National Guard is not trained to do that. They're not trained to patrol U.S. cities. If you want to make U.S. cities safer, a lot more federal dollars to expand the size of the Chicago police force or the DC police force. There's a lot of steps you take before you go all the way to the military. He skipped over all of those steps to put people in that he has control of.
Aren't those police going to violate your rights and arrest you and do illegal search and seizure, like you said like a minute ago?
If they go too far, we're going to hold them accountable too, yeah.
Okay, so how about we wait till they go too far before we judge them?
How about we wait till the people in that city say these motherfuckers are necessary? If the mayor is saying we don't need them, crime is coming down, why not at least listen to the people on the ground in that area?
Well, for one thing, the crime is very high, and if the mayor had a solution, this wouldn't even be a question. The fact that the Democratic mayor has failed at bringing safety to Chicago for so many years, to the point where 500 murders a year is acceptable because it's lower than the 700 murders a year before.
Every city in America that has
a high number, higher than New York, which is like 4 times bigger.
Every city in America with more than 150,000 people in it is not safe, MAGA reacts. Every city in America is like that. I don't know why Chicago keeps getting hammered. Every city's like that. There are plenty of cities in America where you would be at more risk walking down the street than Chicago. But for some reason, Chicago keeps coming up.
Because the city with the highest murder rate only has 150 murders a year, where Chicago has 500 to 800 a year.
And if it's less people,
murders. That's a lot of fucking people dying.
All right, like I said,
that's a lot than some
countries. I don't care what the murder rate is. If I'm less safe in your city, bragging to me that less people got killed here, that doesn't give me any solace. If your city is more dangerous, I'm more at risk of being robbed or carjacked in your town, pointing out less people got murdered here. That doesn't give me any type of security.
Like, I've already proven to you that the stats are bullshit, because if you're on the north side of Chicago, your rate of getting, like, your chances of getting shot at are like almost zero. Where if you're on the south side or the west side, your chances of shot at skyrocket. They're up to like almost 100%.
Okay. All I'm going to say is, when you're targeting one city and it doesn't fit the profile on anybody's top 10 list of the most violent cities, and you keep going, the purpose of going to Chicago has shit to do with lowering crime. It is about sticking it to the liberals and showing I can be here regardless of what the fuck the liberals say. You're skipping over Memphis, you're skipping over St. Louis, you're skipping over New Orleans, you're skipping over all these more violent cities because you want to stick it to the liberals in Chicago. Last word on you.
He's going to stick it to the only way he's going to stick it to the liberals is by making Chicago safe. If he sends the National Guard to Chicago and they do like you said, he would be doing the opposite. It'd be bad for him. So his way of sticking it to the liberals is by bringing crime down. And you're telling me you're against him bringing crime down.
I don't think what he's doing is going to do that. That's why. MAGA, I got to move it on.
And I'll find out. Because it's working in fucking D.C. It's working in D.C. as far as I can tell.
We don't trust the intentions. That's all I'm saying. I got to move it on. And real quick, here's what I will say on that before we move on with the program is that, folks, crime happens for a reason. People don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to go steal a car, I'm going to go rob somebody. Crime happens for a reason. Young kids with too much time on their hands, single moms working 2 jobs, unable to raise their children, in the streets are raising that kid. A lot of folks with just nothing to do, poverty. Crime happens for a reason. If you do nothing to address those reasons, just flooding the area with folks in camouflage is not a solution to crime. It's not. It may reduce crime in that area while they're there, but the reasons these people were committing crime still exist. So what's going to happen is they're either going to lay low until the camouflage disappears, or they're going to migrate to other areas and do what they were doing. That's not a solution. That is, simply put, not a solution. If you're committing crimes to eat or whatever the case may be, whatever's causing you to do this shit, and they flood your area with law enforcement, then you'll go to areas where there is no law enforcement. And you can't flood the entire country with National Guardsmen. There's just no way to do that. And so so my point I'm trying to make is this. What Trump is doing will not lower crime in Chicago to any substantial nature whatsoever. It will not lower crime in Chicago. You're not increasing the salaries at jobs. You're not increasing the number of jobs. You're not making healthcare better. You're not doing anything to clean up the city. You're not opening rec centers so kids have something to do. You're not making it easier on moms that have to have 2 jobs to feed their family. You're not doing any of that. We're just going to put a bunch of cops in your area. It's just not going to do anything other than probably make people in that area resent law enforcement. Because you didn't make their lives any better. You just put a bunch of people in that are threatening them with incarceration. Okay, so we're not going to commit any crimes, but our lives still suck. That's not making anything, that's not doing anything of benefit. So I'm going to just simply say, if he was to go in an area to lower crime and start addressing some of the other issues I pointed out, then we might have a conversation. And I don't like the fact, and by the way, tap the screen. Help your boy out also with that TikTok cap goal. Show your boy some support and love on the program. But it would be more genuine if Trump, and to some degree people on the right, did not pretend like the only problem we have in America is crime. There's a lot of other things in America that could make your area a shithole city or a shithole state. Poverty, infant mortality rate, lack of health care, literacy rate, how well your children are doing in school in terms of mathematics and sciences, all of that shit. If you live in an area where there's no crime, but all your roads are fucked up, the kids are all dropping out of high school, and nobody has health insurance, is that a great area because there's no crime in it? So I really wish that they would focus on more shit than just crime. But I'll tell you why that's likely to happen. Because if you focus on crime, it's always going to take you to liberal areas. It's likely going to take you to liberal areas because most of the crime happens in big cities in this country. And the big cities are where liberals live. That's it. So let's just focus on shit that will give us an avenue to criticize the liberals. But like rampant poverty in Bible Belt areas, you don't say shit about that. Let's just focus only on crime because it allows you to continue to bash liberals. Which is why I told my last caller, you're not solving anything. You're kind of, to some degree, you're meeting vendettas. You want to stick it to the liberals. This is what this is all about. This is what this has always been about, is sticking it to liberals. That's why you're only seeing the Guard and ICE and all of this stuff showing up in liberal cities that are in liberal states. If you are in a liberal city, but your governor is Republican, you're not going to get an influx of ICE or the National Guard. It's only done to stick it to the liberals. But you get to use the excuse, we're dealing with immigration or we're lowering crime. That's the reason. That's not the actual facts behind it. Anyway, looking in the comments though, yes, we noticed the potholes driving from Windsor to Detroit. And I don't get it, but snowing in Windsor and drive north and sunny and warm in Detroit. Weird. I can't speak on the weather, but you're entering Canada, so that's a whole different ballgame. The government requires you to leave your kids in school or be placed in jail. So obviously the state should at least be responsible and take care of them under their watch. And I don't think that's what's happening here, though. I don't think that's what Trump is doing. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen. Feel free to get us on up to 90,000. Gangsta Grandma, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. The rich politicians want Americans mad, and anyone else, they want you working so hard that you don't have time to see the truth. There's some validity in that. Gangsta Grandma, good afternoon.
Hi, Big Fluffy. Hi, my big old fluffy chocolate doll, you.
There is no fluffing on this damn show today. What's going on?
Oh, shut the fuck up. You always got some white cock up in your damn mouth. You know you do, and it's all dripping. You always be doing something. Then you have Maggot Reacts. You know, let me tell you about Jeremy and Maggot Reacts. They're going to fuck around. They're going to fucking find out. Because you know what, you dumb white team motherfucking asses, they're going to come for you. Because you're not going to take your citizenship away.
You know, it's interesting you would point that out. I did not know until today that now. So both Maggot Reacts and Jeremy, neither one of these individuals.
They voted for him. Karma's gonna be sweet. You fucking white telling bitches, you are going down, bitch.
Don't say that about my guest. Be nice to the guest.
For the next.
Don't say that about my guest. But I was shocked.
Hey, no, fuck you. I ain't like you. I'm not on my knees. I'm not on my knees, Pookie. I'm not on my knees for them asses. I'm going to give it to them. They are coming for that white tea ass, and I don't give a fuck because you voted for that shit.
So you believe that the Trump administration is likely to deport both Jeremy and Maggot?
Yeah, they want to do it, and you know what? FAFO, bitch. That's all I can say, FAFO. Because let me tell you something. He said it out of his fucking mouth.
What do you
mean? He wants to overturn that shit. He does. You know, and what's fucked up, and you know what doesn't, it's like rubbing me the wrong way, is that dude that did that to the guard. Something must have really fucked up because he was with the CIA.
Yeah.
And you had to have been vetted very well.
That's a good point. Not only did he work with the CIA, but I believe the Trump administration had cleared him to stay here not long ago. But they
vetted him twice.
Yeah, he's been vetted. He's been vetted.
So something happened, and you know what they said that his name was being Googled and stuff before this shit happened. So I don't know, something isn't feeling right. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, you know, I feel bad for the woman. And let me tell you about Maggot Reacts. We don't degrade our National Guard, you dumb fuck. We're coming after the ICE agents that's going to take your ugly white ass away. That's what we're doing.
Why do you gotta launch personal attacks like that? Real quick
because
before
I'm not like you, Tim. I'm not gonna let them come up here and degrade people. And like he was spitting all that fucking hate and shit. All you do it, yes. Well, you don't even push back hard. That's why I'm trying to get you some balls, Tim. Some fucking balls, Tim. Push back harder. Like he wasn't even like, oh my god, I can't even stay. Like my brain hurts fucking with him. Even when I'm fucking high as hell, my brain hurts just by listening to him. Because he is like a no good for nothing white trash. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think he's even white, but he sure is acting like a fluffy McMuffin.
Now, who you talking about? MAGA reacts?
Yes.
He's Egyptian.
Yeah, Egyptian bitch. Let me tell you, with your Egyptian little good looking ass, they're coming for you.
They're not gonna do it.
Because you're not safe here. Don't ever get the shit twisted. You're not safe.
You think Trump is going to deport his own supporters?
Yes, they already did. Did you not? You see him all crying and shit? We didn't vote for this shit. Yes, you did. Actually, you voted for racism.
How about this, though? In my comments, Grisby says, President Trump is doing what he said he would. I mean, to some degree, that is true. Promises made, promises kept.
You know, what promises did he say about our grocery prices going down? Our gas prices going way fucking down.
He was going to do
our
some...
utilities supposed to be going fucking down. Our rent's going fucking sky high. He ain't doing shit. All he is doing is lining his own fucking damn pockets. And then the fucking people that voted for him are dumb fucks. They are a bag of fucking dum-dums. They are a bag
That's
of
not
fucking...
true. That's not true.
That ain't true. Hey, get off your knees, Tim. I'm trying to be nice.
This has nothing to do with hands on your knees. This is not me on my knees. Hold on.
Get off of your knees. At least if you're going to get on your knees, go get on your knees for a black woman. But not for a fucking the white man.
Not this one, right? Not this one. Not this one, right?
Hey, she's a beautiful black woman.
But she was a bad candidate. She was a bad candidate. Let me just say this.
No, she was not.
Yes, she was.
You're a badass fucking black man of a fucking cockroach. That's what your ass is. Your ass is a fucking thing with a cock in your fucking mouth on your knees for the white man. See, I was trying to be fucking nice to your ugly, bald-headed fat ass. I was trying to be nice.
Is that what you were doing?
Say she's a bad candidate. See, you always got something fucking negative to say about black fucking women, but you never have nothing negative to say about white trailer trash ass women that will put you in the fucking ground before anybody else would. But no, you would bow down to a white woman and you would kiss a white woman's ass and every damn thing else, but you're a degraded fucking black woman. Ain't you about
this
a
has
bitch?
nothing to...
I see why you're divorced.
Well, first of all, I heard that this woman was Jamaican and Indian, so maybe she's not a black woman. But that ain't what I was talking.
I know your ass is talking shit. I know Tim. Timmy Tim. I know you got a smirk on your. I know you're talking shit because if I could, I'd be like Ghost Dad and I will pop you dead in your fucking throat.
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, I'm just simply saying that I'll give credit where credit is due. If Trump's doing something right, I'll give credit to Trump.
Trump ain't doing nothing fucking right. He don't like your black fucking ass, so get off your fucking knees. He don't even like his own people. That's why I don't understand about these fucking white trailer trash asses. They don't like you. He never has liked none of his supporters.
What is making you suggest that Trump doesn't like people like me?
Really, Tim?
I'm just asking.
Tim, are you fucking serious,
people
Tim?
People want to know.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what he's been racist all his fucking life, you know what I mean? Like putting C on applications.
What has he done in recent years to indicate that he doesn't like people like me?
Are you serious that our blood is tainted America? You know, even the immigrants and everything else. What you don't think there's black folks that are immigrants?
You didn't say
that.
What
I mean? And then we got two bumfuck white. This is why I tell you that white people are sinister and white people are sick in the fucking head. It's because you just see the two motherfuckers that want to go to Haiti and unalive the men and grape little girls and shit.
Yeah,
you don't think let me tell you something. I'll tell you the ones that you been kissing ass to. They're the one. I'm telling you.
Ain't nobody kissing that. Look, if just because the program is and always will be MAGA friendly, it ain't about kissing ass.
Why would you be friendly to motherfuckers that put you in a goddamn tree? Why would you be friendly to motherfuckers that would grape our fucking women and our babies? Why would you be friendly to motherfuckers that hate us?
Well, I got a question for you. Instinct says, ask her where she works and how many teeth she got. So one of the viewers wants to question.
Oh, I wish I had no fucking teeth. I could take my nigga's soul on God. You know what I mean? I wish I had no damn teeth. I would be sucking and I dare taking my ninja's soul. You know what I mean, Tim? I would be, if I had no teeth, hallelujah, I'll be a man's fucking dream. But fortunately, I have teeth. I just have a speech impairment, and I own my own business, bitch. You wish you was like me. The white man works for me. I never work for the white man.
Well,
thank you.
Unfortunately, I've never had my soul taken, so I don't know what to say.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I would never. I can't take your soul, my ninja. Because you know why? I got teeth. You know what I mean? But if I had no teeth, well, if you was my type, on off your fucking knees and not being a white man, then maybe. But unfortunately, I love my chocolate men that's not on their knees for the white man.
Nobody's on their knees here. Gangsta.
You are, Tim. You are, for real, for real. You know what? I try to be nice to you because it was a Black Friday, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this ninja a chance. But oh, no, I couldn't do that because, you know, you had to say about a black woman, and then you're over here letting these motherfuckers talk all this shit about everything, Tim, about shit that they don't even know what the fuck they talking about.
It's a free speech program, damn it. I don't block.
It's called free speech, but it's called misinformation. You know what I mean? Like he said, Chicago is all high and shit and murders. Have they said the red states?
Well, I'm going to tell you, gangster. Some folks are suggesting that what you're saying about Trump is misinformation.
No, it's really not. You can look the shit up. You can look at his fucking YT looking baked ass. You know what I mean?
You're talking about white people want to put us in. You're talking about white people want to put me in trees and stuff like that.
They do. You know what? Let me tell you. If they had their way, Tim, honest to God, if they had their fucking way, and I'm going to break this shit down to you, YT fucking maggots. We're not our ancestors. We have pew-pews, and we'll fuck your asses up.
What do you think? What do you think MAGA is? A bunch of savage racists or something?
Yes. Two of them just got indicted for trying to grape fucking little girls.
How do you don't know? You don't know that they're MAGA?
Oh, they're maggots. Oh, yes, they're interbred. Because what fucking sane motherfucker would do some stupid shit like that? So, you know, I'm going to tell you, Tim, that's why I tell you need to go on YouTube and see down south, they got incest very high. And those maggots are right up in it. They don't even know who their mama is. And you even said that the incest is high. They are high. That's why the brain is so fucked up.
There are a lot of individuals that have, like Jeremy perfectly stated, there are individuals that voted for Trump for legitimate reasons.
What was the legit reason?
Well, the other candidate was a bad candidate. So that's one.
No, she wasn't a bad candidate. The only thing that had against her was she's a woman. And she was a black fucking educated fucking woman. You know what? I guess she had to be below the age level and talk to him like a preschooler. Because anything she talked, the people with an education and could comprehend what she was saying, we would have been a hell of a lot better off right now. We wouldn't be going through all this bullshit. We wouldn't be going through all these scandals. We wouldn't be having a damn the one country coming to our base and flying.
You talking about Qatar? You talking about Qatar? So you believe that Kamala Harris would have been
a murderer in the White House and saying, "Oh, it wasn't him. He had nothing to do with it." We wouldn't be having all that shit.
So you believe
shut your asses up.
You believe that Kamala Harris would have been a better president working with international dignitaries? Yeah. I mean, because Trump says we're respected internationally. You think Kamala?
Well, are we really respected internationally? We are the joke of the fucking world.
But let me ask you this. There's a lot of countries, you talk about misogyny and not wanting a woman in power. There's a whole lot of countries, Gangsta Grandma, that do not respect female leaders.
Well, guess what? we have people all around the world that has female presidents, and you don't see their countries going to fucking hell and back, are like Mexico and shit.
Yeah, but they're not superpowers.
Well, just because they're not the complete superpower, hey, at least they got some goddamn fucking common sense.
So you believe that
the reason why this motherfucker won is because of racism. That's why this motherfucker won. They don't want black or brown people here. How many damn fucking times are you going to fucking just get off your fucking knees and realize he don't like your black fucking ass? He don't. And then all your beloved maggots, they don't like you. They're just tolerating you because you're on a fucking talk show with you.
Wait a minute.
But if they was to your fucking face, I guarantee you they wouldn't even respect you.
I got people
as a fucking black man.
I got people I know that are MAGA Gangstagram.
Well, I couldn't even. Well, if you know them, I wouldn't sleep up by their asses. I wouldn't close my eyes to them neither. They'll stab you in the fucking back, and they will put you in a tree. I don't have no friends that are maggots.
Trump got 77 million votes in this country. Do you have instances of MAGA harming people the way you're saying?
Hey, there are 77 dumb fucks. A lot of people that voted for him believe the lies about the groceries and shit.
Okay. I don't disagree
they
with
did.
I don't disagree.
And then we have black maggots and the brown maggots. We're going to get a stimmy check. We're going to get a stimmy. We're going to get a stimmy. Where's it at, though?
How about what Davis in the comments pointed out, that Trump stopped 9 wars? You think Kamala could have did that?
Are you fucking serious? Where did he stop 9 wars at?
One of my viewers said it.
Where did he stop 9 wars at? Where?
He actually do list them: the Congo, India, Pakistan.
No, he didn't do shit with Pakistan and India.
I'm just saying.
They came out and said that. Trump had nothing to do with that. They came together and they talked. So shut the fuck up. Get off your knees, Timmy Tim Tim. Girly Pop, get off those knees.
Listen,
he didn't do that.
Okay.
He didn't do shit with that. What is it? Palestine and Israel. I fucking don't give a fuck about Palestine no more. I'm just done. They sold us out for that shit. The fucking see, let me tell you something. I give everybody fucking smoke. We have a far leftist that was kissing ass saying don't vote for her because she's G-side and all that shit. Now look, Palestine's gonna fuck up even worse.
Well, I got one for you. Joey Boy says she is delusional. TDS is real in this bitch. So is this a case?
I guess Trump is Biden TDS too, right? Because every goddamn day that white bitch right there that has his mouth open with a cock sucking in it and had Bill Clinton sucking on, he was sucking on Bill Clinton too. Did you hear about that too? The bitch that got hit sucked on Bill Clinton.
You don't believe that really happened though, do you?
Oh yeah. Well, not Bill Clinton, but a top donor though. Yeah. It's in the emails.
You
Those
believe
emails
that?
Ain't lying.
You believe that Trump actually went down on another dude?
Yeah, Trump did. I put money on it. Yeah. Why would? Can I tell you something? I'm gonna tell you something. Why would people lie like that and not thinking that nothing will ever get out? All those emails. Oh, he's all up in those emails. He sucked somebody's fucking cock.
Maybe it was just a joke.
Nasty fuck.
Maybe it was a joke or taken out of context.
No, it wasn't no fucking joke. See how you fluffing? You see how you fluffing?
I'm just asking.
You see how you fluffing? It isn't. It's just being real. He sucked on somebody. He did. And they know he did. I'll tell you that I hate the maggots. I do. Because they put us in this situation. They don't like us. And I don't even know why they don't like black and brown people, but they surely don't. And they're invaders to this country. Comprehend this, bitches. You're white. You're an invader. You stole this fucking country from the natives. And let me tell you something too, you white trailer trashes. Don't ever call an indigenous person an Indian, you sorry bitch.
You're getting mean to some of these folks. I mean,
yeah, I am getting very fucking mean. Because you know why I'm fucking mean? I'm not a nice person. Well, what do you want me to do? I'm not a tolerant leftist like you. So I'm not a tolerant. I'm not going to go over here and panhandle and say, oh, yes, Matt, let them talk. No, bitch. I'm giving them the same fucking goddamn smoke. The trash. The gutter. The ones that voted for this shit is gutter. The trash.
Is that what I am now, a tolerant leftist?
You're a tolerant left because you cater to them. You let them come up here, spill misinformation, knowing, oh, well, there's a freedom of speech. But we have to fight that shit. Every time they open their fucking mouth and you know it's a fucking lie, we have to get up here and we have to fight it. That's why we lost, because we allow people like you do, let them spear the shit. And then you like with your fat fucking sorry ass, and I'm saying that.
What the hell?
No, listen.
I'm
because
trying.
you allow them to do it, Tim. You allow them to spill the shit because it's so-called freedom of speech.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And
But it's misinformation. Then push the fuck back.
Well,
how about that?
As I just stated, some were saying the same thing about you. They're saying you're spewing misinformation.
No, I'm not. I can put all my fucking goddamn receipts up.
I'm just telling you.
He's in the emails giving a BJ to what's that damn Bubba. Okay?
I think that could be
that was all over the fucking news. He gave somebody, bitch, a Bubba.
We made it. We had a show on it. And by the way, Tanya, I see Tanya says she has mad facts. Y'all just don't like her delivery. So there's somebody.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm not gonna sit here and kiss the white man's ass and say, "Oh, you know what? But I'm not like you, Tim. I'm not gonna sit up here panhandle to them, not push back. I will push the fuck back hard on their ass. Bring the receipts or shut the fuck up. That's what I am. Shut the fuck up and bring the goddamn fucking receipts. No, you don't do that. You let them talk like a fucking canary. Talk, and you don't push back like that, Tim. Well, this and looks on the other side. No, bitch. Bring the fucking receipts or shut the fuck up.
Well, when you talk about bringing receipts, do you have receipts that MAGA wants to put us in trees and all this shit?
Oh, the Triple K has, did they not?
MAGA ain't the Triple K. The Triple K is not MAGA.
Yeah, you want behind this shit. Let me tell you something. If they are still following him to this day, they are racist. They are racist, Tim. Because everything they know what he's doing is racist. Now he wants to ban all Afghanistan that helped our asses because of this shit.
MAGA is not the Triple K.
Oh my God.
I'm just telling you.
Follow Triple K. The Triple K voted for him. The Proud Boys are the Triple K. They're still standing with the Triple K. You walk like a duck, you talk like a duck, quack, quack, you a fucking duck.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that.
Let me tell you, Tim, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Tim. I try to be nice to you with your bald-headed looking ass. But
I am bald-headed, goddammit. I ain't looking bald-headed. I am bald-headed.
Why can't you just push back and tell him bring the damn receipts? Because we have to fight this misinformation. Because everything they spew is misinformation. Like when MAGA React said, "Oh well, you know, when we was talking shit about the soldiers and stuff." No, he wasn't. It's ICE.
Yeah, and I pushed back the whole fucking time. I gotta move it on. You just ain't hearing it.
All right, you corn-fed motherfucker, you.
Gangster.
I can't stand you sometimes. I really can't. And you know what? You are my homie. But you know what, Tim? Like that guy said, I can't even take your soul because I can't even take you seriously. Because your ass is too much white for me. Can we get some chocolate up in your ass?
We'll talk about the soul thing. How about that? I gotta go. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes on up to 120,000. I got a soul riding on this broadcast, so help your boy out. Tap the screen. Get Tim Gangsta Grandma, make Gangsta Grandma a co-host. Get off your knees. Every time I hear that song, hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Some of you guys may be a bit too old to know what I'm talking about because I should be too old to know about that as well. Tim, come to Alabama, and we will cook you some unseasoned food, says Bama Landscaper. There's plenty of people who know how to season food in Alabama because you guys border Louisiana and some of the best food comes out of Louisiana. I would never hit the thumbs up. This is a freaking clown show, says Tony. Well, I think this is, or it's only money or something like that. And by the way, if you do enjoy dialogue from all sides of the aisle, without any concern of the host attempting to block, ban, or censor any of the guests, because we don't block, ban, or censor anybody here. This is free speech. If you enjoy this type of open dialogue, feel free to follow the program if you're currently watching us on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube, or better yet, or Instagram. We're live on all of those. And if you're currently watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays, so feel free to give your boy a sub. And we will be here all this weekend. Looking in the comments, this is true. I don't go to barbecues, and the food is top shelf. Yeah, I'm assuming the food in Alabama has some seasoning to it. I've stopped off at various restaurants in Alabama as an over-the-road driver, and I've had good barbecue and things like that. So Alabama knows how to work. Tim looking young, fly, and fresh today. Really? Thank you. Somebody told me I look like fucking Suge Knight, and others said James almost of Good Time. So I get everything. I get covered the gamut. Anyway, going back to the box, we'll go to Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. Help your boy out, folks. Get that TikTok cap goal. Helps out the program, helps out the algorithm. By the way, when you tap the screen, get the likes on up to 120. Mike, good evening.
What's going on, man?
You know, I always say I'm in the trenches. Gangsta grandma makes me sweat, but Trump talking about banning all third world immigrants. What say you?
Well, what did he do his first administration what were the first group of people he banned during his first term?
Total and complete ban of all Muslims until we figure out what the hell's going on.
Exactly. So what's the difference? This is what racists do. Listen, I don't know why we expect, racist. That's what the fuck they do, right? Racist people are racist. This was just an excuse for him. The bottom line is he put those National Guard in harm's way. And I'm not excusing the person that did it at all.
Mm-hmm.
He put those people in harm's way. Tim, I told you before, you keep putting people out there to do your dirty work. The people that are being affected by that will ultimately have a problem with it. I'm not saying that those people should have been pew-pewed. I'm not saying that at all.
But you do believe that Trump, due to their deaths, or at least one of them has died, you believe Trump has blood on his hands for that?
100%. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to back my shit up. And by the way, MAGA Reacts, if you come on my panel to debate me, you ain't got to worry about nobody else because it ain't going to be long because I already know you. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Here's what I'm saying, Tim. Here's what I'm saying. This guy, the court 6 days ago, the courts decided that the deployment of the National Guards was unlawful and illegal.
Yep.
6 days ago.
Yep.
So if that ruling stands, they were there illegally. So who's responsible for the circumstances that come about after an illegal order and or action?
That's a good way of wording it. That is a good way of wording it.
That's fucking, it's simple. It's easy. But MAGA supporters want to act as if what I just said is not a reality. What I just said is the law.
But let me push back. And
here we go with the pushing back shit.
I gotta give Trump credit if he deserves it. Fact is, the guy still has the right to appeal and take it to the Supreme Court. It's possible that the Supreme Court may rule that it's not illegal to have National Guard there. So what you're saying is valid today, but it may ultimately not be because Trump is going to take his deployments to the Supreme Court.
100%. And I literally said, if it stands.
You think it's going to stand?
If it stands.
You think it's going to stand? Because if it doesn't stand, if it does not stand, meaning that Trump gave the National Guard an illegal order, shout out to the 6 senators, the ones they're calling the seditious 6, but if Trump had the National Guard in D.C., and he appeals all the way to the Supreme Court and they don't rule in his favor, then that means he gave out an illegal order. Kind of like what the seditious 6 is talking about.
Exactly. That's exactly what I just said. That's exactly my point. And to call those 6 people seditious and that they should be unalived and hung. So when you ask Gangsta Grandma about Trump talking about hanging people, he said it. He retweeted, he reposted about people being strange fruited and hung.
Yeah.
So that's not up for debate. So listen, Tim, this shit is easy. That's what be pissing me off about you sometimes. You don't ask the right fucking question. He said that. When she said that to you, Trump has retweeted or reposted about hanging people.
Yeah, but but Trump did not talk about hanging black people. She's talking about people of color.
If Trump is talking about hanging white people, and you believe he's a fucking racist, you think he's not talking about hanging black people?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people.
No. Do you think he would be okay with not hurting black people? He's showing through the deportations he doesn't give a fuck about minorities.
But there's a lot of people, Mike, that do not believe Trump is a racist.
I know, and those people are racist.
So wait a minute. So if black, wait, we talk to people like AJ and LJ. So if black people who voted for Trump do not think he's racist, you're saying that makes them racist too?
Yes, they're in the cult. I'm saying they're in the cult. Because those black people can't be racist. And we can have a live on that because I don't believe that. And that's a longer conversation. But it's part of the cult. They're just part of the fucking cult. I've been hearing them whine. I heard Blagger whine in the last 24 hours about not being invited to the holidays and shit by their people. Fuck them. I don't care. But listen, Tim, here's what I'm saying. Donald Trump threatened to unalive those 6 Democrats, right?
Yeah.
For the very
he didn't threaten to kill. Wait, hold on. Got to defend Trump again. He didn't threaten to kill them. He said what they did is sedition, and that is something that is punishable by death by usually the government, not the president.
Who is running the government? See, and this is why they say you be fluffing, right? This is where you get your fluffing moniker.
This is not fluffing.
I'm about to tell you why. Who's in control of everything right now?
Trump.
Who's showing no separation of power right now?
Some would argue Trump.
Who's in? Oh, wait a minute. No, see how you don't answer my question and you give me that slow, long ass blink to the right. Who's in charge, Tim?
President Trump is in. You make me sound like the girl from Hustle and Flow. I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
He has loyalists in charge at every level. They're doing his bidding. That's why those cases got thrown out, because that attorney is doing his bidding, not following the law. These people are willing to not follow the law. He literally admonished that journalist because she was not loyal.
Yeah, see the comments. Dennis Calhoun was pointing out that Trump called the reporter stupid 3 times yesterday. He don't like it. Yeah. He don't like female reporters. He does not like females.
Ugly? No, he doesn't like women. Not just the reporters. He only sees them as an object. That's it. The minute you don't agree with Trump, he doesn't respect women or people of color at all.
I mean, he'll go after a white guy too, won't he?
Yes, that's the last resort. And he'll make up with them motherfuckers too. He ain't making up with women.
You telling me there's no hope? There's no hope for Marjorie Taylor Greene ever?
Nah, that's over with.
Damn.
That's over with. And she doesn't want to. She sees the writing on the wall. But what I was getting ready to tell you, when he threatened those 6 Democrats for sedition, the irony and the hypocrisy of him and MAGA is he pardoned people that were convicted of the very same thing.
Yeah. That is factual. By the way, MAGA Reacts pointed out he made up with Megyn Kelly. That's one there. That is a legitimate one.
Where's Megyn Kelly right now? What influence does Megyn Kelly have on the political sphere right now with Trump?
Shit. I mean, MAGA loves her.
What political capital does she have?
Oh, she never had political capital, though. She was a reporter at Fox.
She has no power. Who gives a fuck? She has no power.
I mean, she has a platform.
Either.
She has a platform, though.
As long as you're complimenting him, he's fine with you. Yeah.
We know that. That is true.
He's using you. She's a token. Yeah, we know that. She's a token. She's a token.
It's hard. I can't.
You know she's a token, Tim. You know she's a token.
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly is a token. The minute she says something different, her ass should be put to pasture.
I believe that.
The minute she says the wrong thing, she'll be put to pasture.
I believe that. I mean, that's just.
You don't like people like that.
That's just the way Trump operates. So anybody that criticizes him will be put to pasture. That's the way he operates.
Well, let's get back to this National Guard real quick.
Sure.
Because I know you have to go in a second. Because MAGA Reacts was up here spewing all that bullshit. That cult that cultist shit where you can never see the right thing. Nobody has demonized the National Guard.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. And I told him that. I have not heard that. I said the same thing. I have not heard that. It's ICE that is getting demonized because ICE is actually doing stuff. National Guard hasn't hurt anybody.
Anybody running to sign up for ICE right now, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't know before, you know now. If you're running to go sign, if that was my son, I'm like, are you fucking crazy?
50, wait a minute though. $50,000 signing bonus, a good complement of benefits, a decent salary. They're really wetting the pot though. They're sweetening the pot. There's a lot.
If your integrity is attached to a dollar sign, then you have no integrity to begin with.
Oh shit, that might paint a picture of many of us in this country because most of us operate on dollar signs.
Well, then so be it. No, not for the sake of their integrity.
Fair enough.
A lot of people do, and if they think that way, then they are that thing. Let's stop acting like this thing isn't real. They are that thing. If a dollar sign will make you do atrocities, you never had integrity to begin with. What do they always say about money, Tim?
Root of all evil.
What do they always say about money?
Root of all
it
evil.
Reveals it. The more money, and it reveals who you actually are. If I can offer you $50,000 to do atrocities to people, you were that motherfucker to begin with.
Well, let me just say it this way.
You just never had the opportunity to get the money.
Let me just say it this way. Maybe most Americans will not take the money to actually be part of ICE and go out and do that kind of shit to people's families and destroy families. However, if you convince most Americans that they will have more money in their bank account and more food on their tables, they will vote for somebody else that's going to do that. So to some degree, you still support it. You're not joining ICE, but you'll vote for somebody that's doing it because you think as a result, I'm going to get paid. So you're still doing it for the money.
Right. Which makes you, back to my fucking original point, since I've been on your platform, it doesn't make them motherfuckers no better either, Tim. That's my whole point. If you vote for this, but you're not willing to go out and hurt somebody, but you know you're voting for somebody that will, you're no better than them motherfuckers either. The problem is people want to be comfortable in their bigotry, in their vote, in their racism, because they don't want to do the dirty work, but they're willing to see it happen. That's no different. So what's the difference between what I just said now and what was happening in the 1700s and the 1800s? Only 2% of white people own slaves, but 90% of you motherfuckers sat and watched. What's the difference?
So you think at the end of the
difference, Tim?
I mean, look, an argument could be made is fairly similar, but so you're saying at the end of the day, the Trump administration is just one big organization of racists.
Tim, it's not me. First of all, yes, I'm saying it, yes, but I'm only being my feelings, my history in this country as a black man that's seen this shit my entire life. They've only verified it by Project 2025. They've only verified it by Project Esther. They've only verified it by Kevin Roberts and the Heritage Foundation. They verified everything that we're saying. And that's why the people like MAGA Reacts have no leg to stand on, because I can verify every despicable move they're doing. It points right to Project 2025. All of it. All of it.
And yet,
firing the black women, it's in there.
And yet, as racist
as why they won't read it.
And yet, as racist as you're portraying Trump, when Trump had the chance to be defeated by a woman of color, they still voted for Trump in this country. Even a lot of black and Hispanics. How do you explain that?
Because this is very simple, Tim. Because this country is misogynist and racist. Simple. That's why we haven't had it. That's why we haven't had a woman. You got to remember, Hillary didn't win either. Hillary didn't win either.
So what are you saying? They voted against their own. They voted against their own best interest to prevent a woman from being president.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. I don't know why. Am I speaking a different language?
Well, no, it needs some interpretation.
Listen, there's no interpretation. When I'm on here yelling and saying yes as emphatic as I'm saying it, people don't want to come to that realization. Yes, Tim. Yes, this country is racist. Yes, there's people out there that saw Hillary and Kamala and said, I'm not voting for a woman. A woman has no business running the country. A woman's place is in the kitchen. A woman's place is on her back. A woman's position is not to be in positions of authority. Yes. 100% yes.
Apparently I'm being cooked so much that King Finn says I can't hear you over the sizzling. I mean, that's funny. That is hilarious. Go ahead.
I mean, well, Tim, it's yes. It's yes, this country is racist. Yes, this country has shown us that they don't care about children. Yes, this country has said that they don't care about harming of women. We see it every day. It's not up for debate.
When you say this country, is it the country or is it Trump? Because the country was under Biden this time last year. Was this country still racist, not caring about women and children this time last year?
Yes. The only listen, what Biden did, and this, if you go back and look, when it's all said and done, I'm not even talking about MAGA because they're never going to believe. Biden had the most progressive administration in the history of this country. He appointed more women to positions of power than any president in the history of this country, and it ain't even fucking close. Okay. But he had the most diverse administration in the history of this country, and it ain't even close.
Right.
And what the other side said, and people that even voted for him, you're going too far. Do you think that there's not racist and misogynist men or people on the left? They are, but the numbers aren't as large as on the right. Let's be clear. And what we just saw and what we're seeing is racism getting watered and getting fertilized. So it's growing. And the person that's supposed to be looking out for all of us is the fucking gardener. He's the one putting the water on it. He's the one putting the fertilizer on it. He's got Steve Bannon on his right and Stephen Miller on his left and J.D. Vance right next to him. He's surrounded by this shit, Tim. What I just said are facts. And these people that want to say it's not facts or delusional tells me they didn't read. The next time you bring up a MAGA supporter or MAGA reacts, you're not asking them the right questions. Ask them, do they believe in Project 2025? If they believe in it, then everything after that, they're lying to themselves about. Everything.
I think you're going to be hard pressed to find MAGA that are either going to believe in Project 2025 or believe in Project 2025 and confess it. So the ones that do believe in it are going to tell you they don't.
Right. And that's my point. So it goes back to the cultish behavior. It goes back to being in a cult. It goes back to you're either in a cult or you're a racist, misogynist, homophobic bigot.
Damn.
Where else is, Tim, let me ask you this. And I know you got to go. Did you hear about the state of Virginia's been having a rough time this week, right? You got the high school coach on the run.
Yeah.
For child porn. You saw that, right?
Yes.
White cis men.
His wife is saying it's not true, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, they can't find him either. Now, isn't that ironic?
Yeah, he's on the run.
Then you had the two brothers out of Virginia. You heard about them. The assistant principal and his brother were plotting an attack on ICE and the National Guard. You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah. Two brothers out of Virginia. Google that. Now, why are we hearing about these white men? Why are we not hearing, again, Tim, I'm back to this again. Why are we not hearing about them? We'll hear about anything that happens to somebody white by a minority.
Well, did you not, speaking of hearing about white men, did you not hear the clip I played where two white men wanted to go take over an island of Haiti and enslave all of the women?
Yeah, I read about that too. I heard Dave's grandma bring it up, and yes, I did hear about that. But are they talking about this shit?
Not like they're talking about the black man that set a girl on fire in Chicago or stabbed a woman on the subway in North Carolina. No, if you're black and you do something to a white guy or a white person, it's going to get more attention than if you're white, you do something to the country or somebody black. I mean, that's always been that way.
Is that new?
No.
Exactly. So my point goes back to my point, I'm going to let you go. When they come up and have these conversations, what the grandma's saying and Miss Mubetta and other people, hold their ass to the fire about these facts. Because here's the thing, once we start looking for nuances in facts, they're trying to get away from the facts to make themselves feel better. MAGA Reacts knows he's an idiot. Listen, Tim, Listen,
the
they
fuck?
all, the Julio, MAGA, Jeremy, they know they're idiots. They know that. Because they know they're protecting their own egos from facts. Facts that they would never let go in their personal life.
I don't know if I would go that far to say they know they're idiots or they know they're lying.
Oh, well, if they don't know, then that means they're that far gone.
And I got viewers all over the viewers.
Either one of them's a good fucking choice.
No. I'm telling you, just having a conversation with you, I got viewers that are saying that Caller is himself a racist. People are suggesting that you're a racist for bringing up racism.
because whoever said that wants to be comfortable. See, they want to say you're a racist and then get off the phone and go, yeah, I feel better about myself now. I don't want to address